Anybody else feel like a little giggle when I mention my friend Dickus? What about you? Do you find it visible when I say the name Dickus? Dickus? He has a wife, you know. You know what she's called? Incontinentia. Incontinentia bucket. What's it called? I've had enough of this rowdy, rebel, sticking behavior. Silence! I'm calling God to the seize him! Seize him! Blow your noses and seize him!
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town.
I see him. Kill him. Yeah! I say we hang him, then we kill him. Yeah! I say we stumble. Yeah! Then we tattoo him. Yeah! Then we hang him. Yeah! And then we kill him. Yeah!
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I remembered, you know. I always liked you.
Well, I always liked you.
I always liked you so much.
Oh, Mike, should we get together another time, you think?
No, I'm sorry. It's, you know, I thought we'd have a really terrific time.
It's okay, Mike.
You were such a super lady.
I'm a risk taker. I'm growing an entire crop of marijuana plants in my parents' backyard. I think that shows a little bit.
You're growing an entire crop of marijuana in your backyard?
You're hypocrites, all of you. You got a problem with what I'm saying, Larry? Untie your tongue and you come out here and talk, huh? Am I upsetting you, princess?
Jesus hits on me one more time, I'm fucking out of here.
Cheddar said the clue, he was 12 years old. Fell from the roof on East 29. Kathy was 11 when she pulled the plug. 26 reds and a bottle of wine. Bobby got leukemia, 14 years old. He looked like 65 when he died. He was a friend of mine. Those are people who died. 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 They were all my friends that just died. She broke in church, he let the gimmicks go rotten. So they died of hepatitis in Upper Manhattan. Flying in Vietnam, bullet in the head. Bobby OD'd on Drano on the night that he was wet. There were two more friends of mine, two more friends that died. Those are people who died. Those are people who died. Those are people who died. They were all my friends and they died. Mary took a drive out from a hotel room. Bobby hung himself from a cell in the tubes. Trudy jumped in front of a subway train. Eddie got slit in the jugular vein. And Eddie, I miss you more than all the others. And I salute you, brother. Those are people who died. 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 All my friends are waiting to die. Tony from the boys club roof. Tony thought that his rage was just some goof, but Herbie sure gave Tony some bitchin' proof. And Herbie said, Tony, can you fly? But Tony couldn't fly. Tony died. Those are people who 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 died. They were all my friends and they died. Brian got busted on a narco rap. He beat the rap by ratting on some bikers. He said, hey, I know it's dangerous, but it sure beats Rikers. But the next day, he got offed by the very same biker. Those are people who died. Those are people who died. Those are people who died. years old. Fell from the roof on East 29. Kathy was 11 when she pulled the plug on 26 Reds, a bottle of wine. Bobby got leukemia, 14 years old, looked like 65 when he died. He was a friend of mine. In Georgia, let the gimmicks go rotten. It died of hepatitis in Upper Manhattan. Flying Vietnam, took a bullet in the head. Bobby OD'd on Drano on the night that he was wed. They were two more friends of mine. I miss them. They died. Tried up from a hotel room. Bobby hung himself from a cell in the tubes. Judy turned in front of the subway train, and Eddie got split in the jugular vein. Eddie, I miss you more than all the others. This song is for you, my brother. All the people who died, died. 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 They're all my friends, and they died.
Buddies, it's the Ron and Fez show, and we are back post-Easter. Earl calls that his Easter song, and I don't even get it. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Long weekend for us. Ron and Fez show, I'm Ron, there's Fezzy.
Hiya, buddies.
And there's Earl.
Hello, everyone. How
Earl,
are you?
why do you call that the Easter song? What do you get out of that?
Well, it's just kind of a reflective song.
I don't find it that way. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Don't you have anything about the people who died and then came back 3 days later?
Well, the Greeks believe longer. The Greeks believe he came back 3.5 weeks later. They worship slow Jesus.
Man, that's a slow resurrection.
All right, 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Got some guests coming in today. Brand new film out called Art School Confidential.
Terry Swigoff, he's the director, and the screenwriter Daniel Close are going to be in studio with us.
All right, Swigoff and Close, is that how we say it?
Swigoff and Close.
All right, Terry Swigoff did Bad Santa, which is a hysterical film. What else has he done?
Let's see. He also did Louie Bluey and Crumb and Ghost World.
Ghost World, that's the one I was trying to think of. Ghost World was his other kind of hit. Crumb was a very odd documentary. Now, we were supposed to have Molto Mario today and canceled, Earl?
Yeah, he had a personal emergency he had to deal with. He will reschedule.
Now, do you notice that we don't lay on our backs and start crying and kicking our feet like the people that if we need to cancel somebody?
You know what? They told us, gave us plenty of advance notice. Everything's cool.
No, that's not the fucking point. The point is this, Earl. It's not plenty of advance notice if we plug it, right? So for you it might be, but for me it's not. But the point is this. We don't make a big deal out of it. We go on. I know you see yourself as the middleman here, but I don't see it that way.
No,
I feel like you are somewhat on me and Fez's side.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. We're not going to pull our hair out over it. We're not going to.
But you just act like, they gave us plenty of advance notice, blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of times they don't give us stuff. And this is where we were last Thursday with the whining. I'm just going to point out every time that we don't get something that we think is coming, we don't make a big deal out of it.
No, not at all. We've been gentlemen about it. You're
just trying to guess the right side to be on?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying we've been very cool about it.
Pick our side, Earl. Pick our side.
Yeah. All right, anyway, we'll talk with these folks today, and I guess they won't be cooking for us.
Nah, we end up starving again. Easter weekend, mine starts out bizarrely where I end up stuck on the plane on the runway for over an hour. So I have one of those situations where I'm supposed to fly to Tampa, Florida. Bad weather in upstate New York causes my plane to come into New York JFK late. So then I end up just going crazy sitting on the runway.
Stuck out there, huh, buddy?
Yeah. So it's not so bad when you have to wait in the airport. Of course, it makes it just a totally long day. And what happens for me is I try to time everything just right with my fear of flying. So,
your pills?
I get a pill from the doctor that I take. Then it turns out that I can't get on board for an hour and a half later.
So you're not nice and downed out in the airport, which isn't your big problem.
Right. So then I just sitting there reading magazines. I read all my magazines while I'm waiting to get on the plane, so I have nothing for the trip when I'm actually in the air.
Here's what you got to talk to your doctor about, and that's double doses. Always double down.
Then once we do get on the plane, we're 30th to take off. We're going to be on the runway for at least another hour. And I end up in a window seat, and I'm just pressed up against it, and I'm like, this is insane. This is totally insane. A day at the airport.
Long day for you, huh, Fezzy?
Yeah, 2-hour flight, but like about 6-8 hours at the airport altogether.
If you fly anymore, you might as well drive, because your whole day is spent at the airport. There's no way around it.
Yeah, it just totally, it just goes away on you.
Oh, it's a post-9/11 world, Fez, we like to say. You just got to now get used to waiting, standing in line, dealing with stuff.
I don't know if there's a worse place to wait than when you're sitting on a plane in a runway. Because there, you can't get up, you can't leave, you can't decide, you know what, I've waited in this line long enough, forget it, I'm going to go home. Try it another day.
Yeah, you'll be arrested as a terrorist if you want to get off the plane. Is this our Mars on line 2? Is that what's going on? Or a different Mars?
Oh, that's a call for Mars.
On our line?
On our line for some reason. I'm not really sure.
So I don't go to those lines, right?
No.
Okay. Who's running the phones today?
Johnny.
Whatever happened East Side today? Off to a bad start?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know what happened to Dave.
All right, Ron and Fez show hanging out. By the way, Earl, we owe you an apology right off the bat. Looks like even though we took the white side the other day because those lacrosse teams, none of the DNA showed up, doesn't matter. 2 of the kids arrested anyway, even though the DNA didn't work out. So I guess I took it as the idea of DNA, absolute fact, absolute truth. I guess that's not the way the law looks at it, though.
No, the district attorney said this, and I've never heard this before. He said 75 to 80% of all rape cases go to trial without any DNA evidence whatsoever to tie in the accuser and the alleged rapist.
So what would the stuff be on? If not DNA, just eyewitness stuff?
I guess eyewitnesses, injuries.
So you got to figure out of the 46 guys that were on that team, somebody must have cracked and laid out the other guys. Somebody has to go down every single time, especially little rich boys.
So now she accused 3 of them originally, saying 3 white men raped her in that Duke Lacrosse house bathroom.
Where was everybody else when this was going on?
Apparently they were at the party and this was going on inside the bathroom.
Right. Where everybody else I thought they were just doing coke. See, that's the thing. You can pull a woman into a bathroom and just act like, well, I'm going to get her high. So, Earl, we all lined up against you the other day. You stuck to your guns. Looks like you were right.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. A rape took place. You're thanking people for a rape.
I'm not thanking for the rape. I just feel a little bit exonerated, that's all.
Vindicated, if you will?
A little vindicated, yes.
You and Jesse Jackson stuck through it all. The rest of us bailed out on it.
Earl, do you feel like the girl who got raped and finally people are believing your story?
I think they're just. I think it's starting.
You
want
to do this? You want to put a wig on, and then we'll see if we can have Bronx Johnny and Dave pull you into the bathroom and see what happened.
I will definitely pass on that. I do not want to see any part of Dave's species.
Here's the Brooklyn Ace. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys.
Hey, buddy.
No DNA evidence linked these guys. This is a bullshit charge. They're only turning around and indicting them because of the fact that there's all sorts of shit in the town there. There's no way these guys did it. If they had done it, there would have had to have been some sort of DNA evidence.
Well, what are you saying what Fez just said, that 75% of the time there isn't?
Yeah, I read that too, but 75% of the time there isn't DNA evidence they collect. Okay, that was the general feeling I got on what they said.
Yeah.
They still the evidence was there. They were able to collect semen and go with DNA and test it for DNA. I can't see.
So there was definitely semen that hasn't been linked to these guys.
That's what they're saying. That's
Okay.
what they were saying.
Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I really don't know all the facts of this case right now. I mean, of course, none of us do. We just know what we're getting out of the newspapers, and nothing's really been presented in a trial yet. But I guess this is going to be enough for them to go to trial. Fez, is that what they said?
Yeah, the grand jury sent down the 2 indictments.
Right.
So, yeah, it should be.
So grand jury is regular people who saw the evidence and they thought there was enough for trial.
Yes,
But
that's
see,
how it
Ronnie,
works.
the other thing is, even once they turn around and go to trial, we're still not going to have all the information because they're not going to let everything out. You and I know that.
Well, by the end of it, we should know all the information.
Conceivably, but you know the way this shit goes. All right,
All
guys,
right.
have a great day.
Talk to you later, Ace. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Hey, Tony, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Tony.
Big ass 2002, buddy.
Way to go old school for us, buddy.
First of all, the grand jury can indict a ham sandwich if they want to get it indicted.
Now I'm fucking starving. We getting ham sandwiches, Earl?
Guilty.
So, the second thing is that, was this girl's name Tawana Brawley by any chance?
See, Earl, we never forget that one. You can't get away from the Tawana Brawley. And now, anytime a black woman says a crime has taken place, everyone goes, oh, here comes Tawana Brawley. Look, Tawana Brawley's moaning up again.
If only Tawana Brawley hadn't lied, everyone would believe everybody else.
Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy.
This is a predominantly black neighborhood. Duke's in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
They are never going to... They charge 42 white men. The movies are up in arms. They're going to have a fit if they don't have somebody on a skill, on a spit.
All right, let me go over to Earl for this. Earl, I want you to be honest, 100% honest. Is this case about race? Is that what we're looking here?
I think it's more about class than race, quite honestly. But
so this is the poor people's chance to get a rich guy.
I could see it that way, yeah. But
All right, so you are agreeing with some of these people who are saying these kids are being railroaded.
Well, not necessarily. I think I'm going based on what the doctor said.
Then it wouldn't be about class or race. It would be about facts, Earl. You got to go one way or the other.
No, again, I'm going by medical evidence.
Right, so you're not saying it's a class thing.
But the fact that this case could have easily gone away, but I think there was enough outrage as far as, she was a stripper, she's a single mother of 2, she's not necessarily, she's not a scholarship kid by any chance.
Steve, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good, Ronnie. How about you guys?
Cool.
Hey, I was going to say, you better be careful, Ronnie. They may subpoena your training records, see if these guys attended your rape prevention course.
Well, there's been so many rape prevention courses that Master Poe and I have come up with a rape prevention course. And now, from what I understand, he doesn't even want to teach it anymore. But the fact is, you've got to help everybody. You got to have a level playing field. That's what you have to do.
So I guess in rape prevention, it's a lot about protecting the eyes and balls.
Right. Because obviously they always go for the balls. Women even love whenever anyone gets hit in the balls. It's like a big funny thing to them. I guess it's the way we laugh at an abortion. Hey, Turtle, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. Listen, I'm not so sure that this is about class. I mean, these guys on the lacrosse team, most of the jocks at Duke don't have the money to go there. It's it's a fairly expensive school, and so they're getting a free ride here to play lacrosse. So they're probably at or close to the same socioeconomic level as the alleged victim there.
So you're saying it comes down to evidence, huh, Turtle?
I think that if unless they can prove that one of these guys or 2 of them actually did it, because there's 40 of them. What, are you just going to line them all up against the wall and say, hey, guilt by association, and you guys should have done something to stop it?
Something had to come up to point at these guys. Now, Earl claims it's all about class. I'm not going to believe that, Fez. I can't believe that the cops would kowtow to that. But the weird thing is, normally you would see a lot of women's groups out. I don't see it on this time. We're going to have to wait until all the evidence comes in, but it's kind of it's going to be an interesting case for a while.
With that, what that guy brought up about lining up all the Duke lacrosse players, I guess there was some sort of lineup, whether it was a photo lineup or whatever, and she 100% identified these two guys that have been arrested.
So nobody else folded on them?
No, she said she had 100% positive ID on these two. There was a third one where she said she could only be 90% sure. But so far, only 2 charged in this rape.
Hey, Josh, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, just the guy who just called before said that it's not going to really come down to a class issue, but if you look at the demographics of who plays lacrosse, it's played in, private schools in the Northeast that cost more than most.
Yeah, but it's also played in a lot of public schools now, too.
I agree, but overall, it's definitely a predominantly white, rich sport. I mean, that's just true.
Well, it is a white sport. I don't know if I'm going to agree that it's like polo. I know at one time lacrosse was played only in private schools, but it is, it's a fairly fast-growing sport, and it's played, at least in the Northeast, at quite a few public schools. Hey, Dave. Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies. How you doing today?
Yeah.
What can we do for you, Dave?
Well, the DNA evidence, that would be inconclusive, seeing it is North Carolina, and they all share the same DNA.
All right, so you're doing a gene pool joke?
Now, if I was the defense attorney, I could get them off easily. Just tell the jury, hey, they all play lacrosse. They're gay.
866 Ron Zero Fez, 866 Ron Zero Fez. Not everybody familiar with the game of lacrosse, but it's not a sissy boy sport. I mean, there's sticks flying around, they're smacking each other. It's a tough sport. Hey, Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing this morning, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
I'm just curious, if this was 2 black guys or 42 black guys or whatever accused of raping a white girl, and they didn't have any DNA evidence, you'd have like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson standing up screaming that it's racial profiling. They're even prosecuting the case. Where's the National Association for White People saying, hey, wait a minute, what do you mean you're prosecuting?
All right, wait a minute. Are you telling me if this was a case of a white girl being raped by 42 black guys, white people wouldn't be freaking the fuck out?
Well, but if there was no DNA evidence, they wouldn't have them in jail without the NAACP standing up and screaming that it's racial profiling.
See, the white people, we have our own association. We call them the cops, and they take care of that for us. Here's Jeff. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
You know what? It's just a simple rape case. If the chick was white, Chinese, Mexican, whatever else, and there's like 3 guys like shoving their dicks in her mouth and banging her, you know what? It really doesn't matter. And I don't care if it was Duke, if it was goddamn like Brigham Young University. It really doesn't matter. This chick was violated. Yeah, she's a stripper. She isn't like the best goddamn conjugate person in the world. But it's what it's all about. It's just a rape case. There's no race involved. That's how I feel about it.
Jeff, that is probably the way most people feel about it, and that's why you don't see protests popping up right now. If it's a rape case, we'll see where the evidence leads, and you leave it up to the justice. Just because somebody's accused doesn't mean that they did it. Kobe Bryant was accused. Most of us already thought that he was guilty. And at the end of it, the case fell apart. And he's back, and he's the fucking scoring leader this year.
It'll be interesting to see what the district attorney has on this one. Because last week, when they said there's no DNA evidence to link any of the players with this rape, with this attack, he said he still has enough to take this to trial. So it'll be interesting to see what it is he's got.
Greg, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, buddy?
All right. I'm just irritated to listen to these people calling in and saying that it's a racial thing, but more importantly, that lacrosse is a predominantly white, rich sport. I come from a middle-class neighborhood. I earned a scholarship, and I think this is bull that these guys are making into a rich white sport. I'm just defending the lacrosse more or less than what they're talking about here.
I guess because it's not really a national sport, people still have a feeling. And I guess it did start at one time, private schools like, 25, 30 years ago. But right now, it's in plenty of public schools. And I guess they don't play it anywhere else but the Northeast?
Yeah, I don't...
It goes a little far south and even into the out west and even out in California. But the point is, the sport's more about fun than a sport because it's not professional. But the fact that the media portrays this the way it is, it's disgusting, and it's really diluting what this comes down to.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares about the sport right now. When you have a rape involved... See, this was funny to me. How quick the Duke just said, well, cancel the season. Cancel the season. Do you think this would have happened if a football team would have been accused of a rape? It ain't going to fucking go down.
No, they lost their season and the coach altogether.
And no one cares because, let's face it, it's not a moneymaker. But if all of a sudden you heard, the Texas football team was accused of rape, they'd still be, well, let's see what happens. We'll settle this stuff after the season.
And I think it sounds like a fancy boy sport because it has a fancy name, lacrosse.
BCH, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How are you, buddy?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit suspicious of this whole thing because, a lot of these gang rapes, they're like gangbang movies. It's not really 40 guys. It's just the same 5 or 6 guys coming around and around again.
Well, we say 40 guys. No one ever said she got it 40 times. 40 guys is how many were on the team. Now it's down to 2 with a possible third being out there.
Oh.
So, and that's where it is. So either the guys had no idea what was going on, or they just thought it was consensual sex going on in the other room. We'll have to see about that when it happens.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Here is Dan. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, man.
I was just going to say, I smell a bit of a conspiracy here. I bet that black girl was coming out of the white boy's house. All the brothers in the hood got mad. They all raped her. She had to blame somebody. Black on black crime.
Well, we kind of accused her of all that stuff last week, but that all fell apart on us since this all came down. We thought we had figured that out in a very numbers-type way, but it didn't work out for us.
I thought when they came back with no DNA proof that this thing was going to completely go away last week.
866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Here is Kevin. Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
That's mostly a Native American sport where I'm from.
Lacrosse?
Yes.
Yeah, it started that way. I mean, and then it got picked up where it was played in prep schools, and now I believe it's played in a lot of public schools.
Right.
So your point is Native Americans not rich. Yeah, I understand.
Maybe it's point Native Americans raped this girl.
I don't know if one's ever been accused of a rape. Native American. I'm going to go so far as saying no. No, they will steal babies and raise them as their own, though. I've seen that in plenty of films.
Scalping has occurred.
G,
you're on Ron and Fez.
Ron, I'm just leaving Durham. My dad had some surgery at Duke Hospital. The consensus down there is the reason that this is all going on is the DA's up for re-election next month. It's a huge black voting populace down there. Jesse Jackson's stirring it up. And what they're concerned about is if they don't file charges, he's not going to be reelected.
So you're feeling like he's filed charges, he knows he can't win, he just wants to keep this going until after the election.
That is correct. They're thinking that even after the election that they'll drop the charges. They're not even going to take it to court.
That'll be interesting to see. Thanks very much. I've kind of heard that kind of stuff before, and that does happen from time to time where they're like, we've got to do something. Like, there's still people who don't believe the son of Sam acted alone. But the city was so crazy, they had to put at least a retard behind there.
Yeah, same thing with the Atlanta child killings and Wayne Williams.
Right.
Grab somebody.
Everybody is so wired up, everybody is so crazy that you got to feed them.
And then he can go out and say, hey, black community, I did the best I could.
Joe, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, my take is just simply you got to rely on the facts with this case. It's so racially charged and could easily get blown way out of proportion. That's my take.
Right. Well, the facts are right now that the DA has busted 2 of these kids, and then we'll see what evidence he lines up against them. Here is Jack. Jack, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
What can we do for you, Jack?
My question is, if they tested all all these young boys with the DNA, where the hell is all the evidence? Where's the semen? This bitch swallow it or what? I mean, 3 young college boys ejaculating left and right. What the hell happened to the evidence?
I don't know whether they ejaculated left and right, whether condoms wore, whether any of this stuff ever happened. We really are. See, here's what you got to understand. The media is not really going to try the case. It really will be tried in court. And the same thing happened with Kobe. Most of the people there, oddly enough, did not think, well, I'll put it this way. I think that if you would have thought Kobe innocent, black people would have been more likely to say innocent, white people would have been more likely to say guilty. So you cannot act like race doesn't play a big part in these kind of things. It does all the time. And I think last time I thought for sure Kobe was guilty.
Oh, I definitely thought Kobe was guilty.
Here is Michael. Michael, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, buddy.
At one point, I'm going to say I was accused of rape. And
only once?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Fucking guy like you?
Yeah, an upstanding guy like me. I'm actually working right now. I'm actually closing my trailer door. You have a radio show. Anyways, the thing is it was in Gallatin, Tennessee. And I had to go all the way up there. They called me at my home, and the police brought me in. There was no evidence but the girl's word. And they questioned me over and over again.
Why did she accuse you, Michael?
Well, we banged twice, and I just really never called her. And it was like 3 days later. She was like, give me a call. And she wasn't that great looking, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I was just slamming her because it was something to do, you know.
Now, did you know she was a crazy girl going into it?
What's that?
Did you know she was a crazy girl going into it?
You know, I really didn't even know her. I met her at a bar, and we did it one weekend, and I just tracked her down at the same bar the next weekend and did it again.
Did you get a little rough with her?
You know what? I really didn't. I'm going to say it was just what it was. I couldn't get mine, and she asked me to stop, and I did. And then she goes, well, I feel bad making you stop. You can't get yours. Go ahead and finish. And I guess that, you know, it was a little painful or something, you know, just because we kept doing it. And finally I got mine, you know, and that was that. And I just went ahead, took her to the Waffle House, and you know, dropped her off at her house and said bye.
Right.
Didn't think nothing of it. I didn't bother calling her nothing. It was going to be the last time because it was miserable. And, you know, the cops questioned me left and right, and they every which way, around in circles. And they finally realized that my story was straight and hers wasn't. But so if these guys are getting prosecuted, it's because their story isn't straight, and the cops know something.
Well, I mean, you can say that now, but at the time you were a crazy person. You know what I mean? Like, you were out of your mind.
Yeah, I just wanted to get mine. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you were out of your mind after the fact with, like, fear when it all starts coming down on you. And you know, I think every guy has banged a chick, you know, that crazy girl who went to Snapchat is going like, what does that mean? And you're like, what do you mean, what does it mean? Like, are we getting fucking engaged? You know what I mean? There's some fucking crazy people in the world that think one thing means another. And you can fucking freak them out by just pointing out reality to them.
All she got was the Waffle House. She wanted a little bit more.
It's fucking a lot more than I would have given her. I give him the normal, fucking 25 right in the fucking chest. Here you go, that's for the cab.
Take her maybe to that Shoney's buffet where it's got some hot items, not just breakfast.
I'm not fucking sitting out in public with her. I'll fucking go through the drive-thru at McDonald's if she ducks her fucking head down. But I can't be seen with the beast I just banged in public where people are. A relative can walk in there. A cousin could come in, snap a picture, and that's blown into a poster next fucking Christmas. Here is Jeff. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. Ron, you hit it right on the head, dude.
Yes, I did.
A lot of this is a racially motivated deal, man. If you heard back in Colorado, at the University of Colorado, they had a white girl that had been supposedly, allegedly raped by 3 Colorado football players.
That's true.
And if you remember right, dude, that through the course of that investigation, no coaches left, no games were not played.
But at the end of the day, that shit was swept under the rug. And basically, when I saw her a couple months on Montel Williams a couple months ago, and she's basically just chalking it up to a bad business decision, just a bad night at the office type deal.
Right. They sent a bag of money over to her house and said, look, we all feel bad about this.
Yeah, hey, take the care package and, see you around.
All right, 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. It is amazing, though, how much stuff comes down to race. Still, 2006. Even your own stuff, like you don't see yourself as a racist. You are still more likely to identify with the race, and most of the times.
When I heard no DNA evidence, I immediately thought this woman was a liar. Yeah, the Tawana Brawley comments that we hear.
George, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think it could have been a bowling team, but the thing that made these guys look like they were from entitlement was that as soon as all this broke, everybody lawyered up instantly. Nobody said a word. So that tells you that somebody's dad is a lawyer, somebody's well-connected.
But, bro, here's the thing. Whoever gets in trouble, I don't care who you are, you need a fucking lawyer. Everybody should not go out and try to take care of this themselves. And if you have the money, it's why rich people get away with things more than poor people. Because lawyers know what they're doing. And the better the lawyer, the better your chances of getting out of trouble.
But that sends the perception that it's money versus poverty.
And that's
whether it's black or white, it's white entitlement versus working black.
Right. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in any kind of trouble and you have money, you have less trouble than the guy who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So it is a thing about money. And it is, if you look around and see how many times rich people get away with stuff, it's unfucking believable. It's unbelievable because lawyers can be so good at that level and just tie stuff up. Just tie it up. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Do you think OJ would have gotten off if he was just a regular guy, with a regular job? He's fucked. The fact that he had money was more important than the race thing.
And worth every penny to him, that's for sure.
Here is Jason. Jason, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. I seriously don't think this is a color issue because it's all pink on the inside.
No, you actually called us and held on to give us an old cliche. Just an old cliche from the past.
And ran to hang up. Knew what was going to happen.
Anthony, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I miss Rapist Fez. Hey, nonetheless, when did raping a stripper become illegal, let alone a black one? That's got to be like 8th-degree misdemeanor. You pay your $25 fine and you should be let go.
I know that it feels sometimes like you can rape a stripper. But,
absolutely.
But here's the thing. You really do need coke almost any time. You need before and after coke. Because then you can fucking sit there and say, wait a minute. You're telling me that after she was raped by me, she sits down and fucking does 3 long rails? One of them off my dick? Right there, you're going to hear a fucking gavel. First, you'll hear the jury laugh, then a gavel, case dismissed, everybody walks out. And the thing is, if you are a junkie fucking stripper, even if you got raped and you're pissed, it's tough not to sit there and do 3 fat rails, even if one of them is off the guy's cock.
So are you saying coke equals consent?
I'm just saying it's a tough way to deal after the fact. Hey, Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, guys, when I was in college, I was banging this girl. I was banging her for a couple of weeks and didn't call her for a couple of weeks. She ended up showing up at my door at 3 in the morning. Bring her in. We end up doing it.
Right.
Right at the end of it, she starts crying. And I'm like, what's the problem? She goes, you just raped me. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're like, holy fuck.
And like 2 weeks before that, I had a threesome with her friend and her. And this girl was just whack. Just, I don't know, she was the attention hound or something.
See, here's the weird thing. You can be accused of raping someone that you slept with 1,000 times. You can be accused of raping your own wife. If they say no, there's no fucking way out of it. You know what I'm saying? It is a really difficult situation. And if a cop gets a call and says, hey, a rape took place, I mean, he's on the fucking job from that point on. He's not looking to work this story out. You're getting fucking cuffed. You're going downtown, and then you're going to have to really work this thing out.
I'll tell you one thing about this girl. First time I was with her, I was fingering her, and I thought, man, she's tight. That must be in her asshole. So I reached around and grabbed it just to check to see if I was in her asshole, and I wasn't. Never had a girl that tight before.
The fact that you don't know the difference between pussy and ass, you might have fucking raped her.
In the ear.
You might have raped her at this point. You're lucky I'm not sitting on the jury, and this is the fucking stories you're coming up with. Your Honor, I got to tell you the truth. It was unbelievably tight. So tight, I literally thought I was in her ass. No further questions, Your Honor.
When he heard her say the word rape, he had to immediately think, I wonder if I can get away with this and murder too. If I could just kill her to keep her from saying this word out loud again.
Buck, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what about these fuckers who get taken off a death row just because they have DNA evidence all of a sudden? This shit happens all the time, but, you know, you got a bunch of kids from North Carolina playing lacrosse, and it doesn't happen. What's this bullshit?
Buck, you've come up with a very good point, and I'll tell you right now, I do not understand the DNA talk one way or the other. I do not understand. I honestly thought last week, no DNA, you can't prove it, everybody moves on. Probably happened by her pimp or her next-door neighbor, somebody that she didn't want to say was involved with her. But I got to agree with Buck here. He's saying they're getting guys off death row right now because they don't have the DNA evidence. Yet these guys are going to fucking do time for banging this chick? Seems crazy.
We got something that we just do not know about yet in this case. I think it is somebody talked. One of the 47 squealed and said, yeah, they raped her, or yeah, I saw it, or they bragged about it afterwards.
Plus, what is their nicknames to that team?
The Blue Devils.
You got to keep the name Devil off your fucking nickname. That's not going to look good for you. You're going around places wearing a devil coat. Crazy bastards. Turn your name to the Sparrows. Some kind of a little pussy bird that you look a little less harmful. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Tom, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy boy.
Going?
Good.
I'll tell you what, being a native of La Crosse, Wisconsin, as I am, beautiful town, 30,000 people right there on the gorgeous Mississippi River. You can't go in and get a sack of potatoes right now anywhere without people giving you the third degree, you know? And here we are also proud of our old-style beer and ice fishing and everything. I'm going back to like what Fezzi was talking about the other day. They must be taking the La Crosse defense and they're going to go old style with the prosecution. No DNA. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying this. Everything of La Crosse, whether it's your town, the sport, stinks of rape for me right now. And it is synonymous with rape. I can't even look at it. I don't know how you could live in a town called like Rape Town, Wisconsin.
If Duke gets a lacrosse program back next year, they're thinking of changing it to Rape Ball.
Rape Ball. Is that what you want your kids playing at school, Rape Ball?
Personally, no.
You have kids?
No. But if I did, I don't think I'd want them playing any game called Rape Ball.
If you did have kids, they'd come out your ass. It's the only way you could possibly have them. One of those amoebas that splits in half. Whatever happened the year of Fez dating? What happened you were going to go looking up some stuff for him, or what have we come up with?
Well, we got a couple of websites lined up. We just need some information from Fez.
What are you, with the male-female box? Click them both off and see what happens.
I'm right here. Talk to me any day you want.
Now, do you think, do you believe him at all, or you think he's just making that up?
Oh, no, he's making it up. He's the stripper at Duke.
He was on my nerves this morning when he jumped on the bookings guy. I'm trying to be on his side with Wiki and start the show being on his side, and he goes just in the opposite direction. And I'm like, come on, bro. Here's I lost you, Marty. He had me missing the point. I wanted to hear what it was. Here is Willie. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Willie.
Fellas, how we doing?
Good, buddy.
Yeah, I got myself in a mess a couple of years ago. And I can definitely attest to the lawyer and the money is the way out of anything. I had a situation with a chick. She was 17, 18 years old. Her dad wanted to press statutory rape charges because she's come home fucked up. She was partying with us and stuff, and I give her a ride over to a friend's house.
How much older were you than her?
She was she was just 18, like the next day. I'm 30.
Okay.
So basically what happened was they took her in, gave her a test and all that stuff, and there was no, they disproved any statutory rape or anything right then and there. And so they charged me with contributing to the delinquency and all that crap, and it went to court. And basically the prosecutor, my lawyer, and the judge went in a little room behind the court, and my lawyer come out and said basically double fines and court costs, and you walk. So, like any smart person, I jumped all over it. But definitely the lawyer, trying to do something on your own in a situation like that's just
these people, these people act like, and you can tell they've never been around anything, acting like, hey, you look guilty when everybody shuts up and gets a lawyer. That's your fucking right as a citizen, and not only is it your right, it's the smart angle, because you don't know the law. The cops know the law, they deal with it. It's their job to catch somebody. So it's the lawyer's job is to make sure you don't get caught, whether you did it or not. It's fucking crazy to think, the worst thing you can do is go out and get a lawyer. You look guilty. Bullshit. Jason, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddies?
Yeah.
One quick thing to add, I just want to let you know, is my understanding that it is actually not illegal to rape your wife. If you are married, my understanding is that it's not illegal.
All right, hold on. I got to go get some rope and some ether, and I'm going to go home for lunch today. So I'll be back in a little while. I had never heard that. I thought that you could rape your own wife.
I've never heard that before either.
I always thought that no means no, no matter when it fucking happens, even if it's halfway through, no means no. Stay out of it.
You have to stop.
Now, I can't imagine that you'd be allowed you can't slap your wife. You can't pin her down on the ground and not let her leave. You can't lock her in the fucking, in the car. Why would you be able to force her to have sex?
I guess it's just a violent spat.
That's still illegal, bro. Either way you look at it, if I was you, I would not really go for it.
That's the theory.
All right, let's check in and talk to an expert here who understands a little bit. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Let's go to Hot Liz, see what Liz thinks about this case. How you doing, darling?
Hi, how are you guys?
I heard your ex-man on the radio yesterday. Sounds like $1 million.
I know, I heard him too.
Yeah. That make you miss him?
What, talking about sniffing the Barstool Sports girls' panties? No.
Yes.
No, it doesn't make me miss him, actually.
Does it make your heart just woo?
Just goes all aflutter, yes.
Yeah.
It does. So these Duke guys, there's no doubt in my mind that they did this.
Why is that?
I went to University of Virginia, another one of these big southern ACC schools where it's most of the people there are wealthy kids from the Northeast. And they are such pompous jackasses. And I knew the lacrosse team when I was down at UVA was like this. They would do that. Anything that happened at their fraternities or this or that always would just get swept right under the rug. Always.
Yeah, but
they think they can get away with anything.
But that's a form of prejudice what you're doing, because you see a stereotypical guy and then you're acting like these guys who we don't know are part of it. What I like to call, Fezzy, the dude bros. The guys who go through life calling everybody dude or bro.
No, but I mean, you have to understand that most of my friends around here are those type of guys too. But I just know that they just all think that they can get away with it.
All right, so right now, the two people definitely thinking it's rape are Earl and Hot Liz. All right, we'll keep an eye on you girls, and we'll see how this turns out. Take care, honey.
All right.
Here's Todd. Todd wants to help us out. Todd, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. I'm a New Jersey, New York lawyer working out of Newark, and I got my own radio show. You can rape your wife. It's perfectly. If she says no and you forcefully, rape her, you will go to jail for rape.
You'll be arrested for rape.
It is 100%. Yeah, definitely. Pretty much every state. I only know legally New Jersey, New York, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's across the board.
I would say every state, most civilized countries. I'm sure the Saudis are allowed to rape their wife, and obviously Italians. But other than that, I think most civilized places would say, no, you can't rape your wife.
It's almost like you can't rape anyone you know. Like it's that far along.
You can rape a girlfriend, you can rape a wife. Just because you've had consensual sex with somebody doesn't mean that you can impose sex on somebody who does not want it. So you could be married for 50 years and your wife says no and you forcefully, yes, you can be easily
And
charged.
even when you're in the middle of consensual sex, she says no, you got to back off, jack off, right? That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah, so the weird rules come in when you add alcohol.
Yeah,
that's kind of a difference. It's tough to imply to your wife because I mean you can't legally a woman cannot legally consent under the influence of alcohol. That's also the law.
So if a woman says, "Yeah, I'm ready to fuck you guys," but she's drunk,
legally that can be considered as rape.
Wow.
Especially in New Jersey and New York, actually. I know down some southern states, I know Virginia being one of them, actually, because we're with the college, that might not be the case. But I know that if somebody is under the influence of alcohol, if your wife is under the influence of alcohol, I think you're going to have it's going to be a little bit of a problem convicting somebody on rape. But any sort of, sorority girl or, any type of college activity where somebody is drunk, it's you can technically turn around and claim rape.
Thank you very much, Todd. Here is Mark from Iowa. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, the other night on Greta Van Susteren, they were saying that 70 to 80% of all rape cases do not have DNA evidence, and that the lack of DNA evidence doesn't mean anything.
I would like to see if Greta Van Susteren could even be raped. I would like to see if she could even get anybody a hard-on, because I'm going to put my money the opposite direction right now.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be possible.
Thank you very much. That's the first thing for her. She's not going to get DNA evidence because your dick is going to head back up into your chest somewhere if you look over and Greta is staring at you.
Especially if everything's as tightened up as she's got in her face.
Here's Bob. Bob, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
First thing first, that lawyer, as he was saying, I know for a fact in North Carolina, one beer, it doesn't even have to be legal limit, one beer, a woman can't consent to sex. But on top of that, I went to Duke. I just graduated last year, so I've been following this pretty closely. And the thing that's been getting me is I was watching CNN. I think it was Anderson Cooper did a story on how Duke is real close to the community. It's close-knit, and it is all a bunch of bullshit. Duke sticks out of Durham, North Carolina like a sore thumb, like a castle among the peasants. That is a all-black community that is dirt poor, and you have, like what the Hot Liz said, all white northeastern rich kids go to that school. That's all it is. They call it University of Princeton Durham chapter, and the race issue is a lot stronger than it is. I think the prosecutor is prosecuting just to appease the public. I don't know if he has enough evidence, but from my personal opinion, having gone to the school, those lacrosse guys are animals. They are animals. They're worse than most frats. I think they did it just based on stereotyping what I know from the lacrosse guys.
Well, the other thing is, too, we talked to this guy who wrote a book about the NC Duke stuff, where Duke is pretty much hated by white people in North Carolina as well, right?
That's true.
People from North Carolina just do not like the kids at Duke.
Yeah, you've got NC State and UNC are the big major schools there. They have a good, healthy rivalry, and they both hate Duke equally because it's all imported students. No one from North Carolina. It's not an in-state school. Duke is a private school located in the state that everybody hates it because the rich white attitudes. If you go visit that campus, you're just looked down upon immediately if you're not a student and if you're not rich. The Beamers and the Benzes that drive around that campus are ridiculous. You go to NC State, you see pickup trucks and Hondas. Same thing with UNC. It's just it is an entire class thing, and it couldn't be located in a worse area because of the way North Carolina is.
All right.
It's a horrible place to have that school.
Thanks, bro. So me and Lorenzo, Ron and the Benzo, all around Duke, we see a young black stripper. Why not take her down a couple of pegs? That's what's happening here. Now, when I start to hear some of this stuff, Fezzi, how are they going to be able to find a jury that's going to be able to walk in there and be fair with these kids.
Yeah, it's not the student council or the Greek council that runs the frats and the sororities.
Here's Mr. Nail. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
One time I was at this party at Excitement Video, and I got too drunk. I went in my van to pass out. Some fucking fat chick came in, started straddling me. I guess people were watching. And I called the cops and reported rape, and they said, Earl's a fucking dumb nigger.
Earl, I'm sorry you had to hear that, my friend.
I don't know why that hurt so much.
Well, it hurt because you didn't see it coming. This is not the type of situation you thought you were going to have to deal with.
He hid behind the guise of rape, Earl.
Yes. All right, Earl, we're going to take a break here. When we get back, we've got some guests ready to come on the show.
We got director Terry Swigoff and screenwriter Daniel Close coming in to talk about their latest film, Art School Confidential.
We'll be right back to the Ron and Fez Show. Yeah, it's the Ron and Fez Show. We're back.
Coming in the studio is director Terry Swigoff and screenwriter Daniel Close. Their new film is Art School Confidential. It opens nationwide April 28th.
This is the second film that you guys have been involved doing together, or have you done more than two?
This is the second one. We did Ghost World together.
Ghost World. And how exactly do you put... At first, it's an illustrated book, right? It's a comic book?
Yeah, it started out. I'm a cartoonist by trade, and I did a comic book, and Terry's a sort of a fan of my work, or at least so he claims.
I used to be.
Yeah, until we started working together, and we turned it into a little film.
Now, if you really... do you use the kind of illustrated book as a storyboard, or do you...
I never did, no. I made a point not to go back and look at it during Ghost World or this film.
Is that right? So you just got to go straight to script form.
It's a different medium. Didn't want to get confused. The two are so close that it does get confusing in a sense. Dan was talking the other day where he was talking about how the film version of Enid turned out to be slightly different from the version that he drew in his comic strip, and it was confusing for him to write once I started writing that with him. It becomes something different.
Yeah. So is that cool for you, Dan? Are you okay that, this started out being this type of work and now it's a different type of work? Or?
Yeah, I mean, once you get involved in film, you have to really be willing to let everything go, because you as a writer, you have no control. And
right.
You're giving it over to a crazy guy like Terry Swigoff, and he can turn it into whatever he wants. And so you gotta sort of step away and say, well, I did my book and that's it, and that
Step
exists
back and
on
watch
its
it
own.
get ruined.
And then watch
the rape take place.
This little monster ruin everything you've done.
That's right.
Well, you, I guess, you let Dan be involved more than most writers are involved, because most of the time, if it's a novel, it's like, here's your check.
Right.
And we'll see what happens from here.
To the set,
yeah,
it was odd. I never thought about it, but on Bad Santa, the writers were never on the set, and I like those guys. And
right.
I welcomed them. They were just never there off doing something else. But Dan was around every day on this film. He was co-producer and sort of the official art consultant as well as the writer.
So you felt like, okay, I have a place there? No, because I know a lot of writers, they come on the set and it's like, okay, stay away from the actors.
No, he's great.
I always felt like Terry welcomed me, but then all the other crew members, it's such a military construction, a movie crew.
Right.
And they're like, what are you doing here? Who are you're the writer. Why are you here? And they're very suspicious for the first half of the shoot, and then after a while, it's just like, all right, that he's the director's friend. He can be here.
It's so funny that you said military, because we, when I'm walking to work a lot, particularly in nice weather, they shoot a lot on the streets of New York. And the way that they have the headphones going back and forth, the time, I'm like, what? It doesn't seem like very fun or a creative place to be. I mean, in the back of our mind, in the back of our minds growing up, you think, oh, God, what could be more fun than being on a film set? But we used to think the same thing of backstage at a rock show,
right.
Until you actually get back
right,
there.
There's nothing duller.
There's no chicks, there's no dope.
Yeah.
It's just really, here's your itinerary. And
add stress into the mix when you're directing a film. Boy, it's stressful.
Is it really? Even after you've done this many, Terry, you're still like, this could only go wrong?
Yeah, there's a lot of time constraints and pressure and big money sitting there, and movie stars and celebrities and actors are very skittish oftentimes. It's difficult, yeah.
And it all comes down to you. There's no point, there's no discussion that takes place that you're not part of, right? I mean, everything has to have your okay.
Not that I know of, but
yeah. So, I mean, it's really long days on this set, right?
Oh, yeah. I often think that if they went back to giving you an 8-hour day, the films ultimately would be a lot better. May not be as cost efficient, but in the long run, they'd be better films. It's just, by the 16th hour, you're just sort of brain dead.
Everybody's wired after a while and not sure what they're doing.
Yeah, just like, well, whatever, just, do it. I don't care.
So in the old studio system, it used to be an 8-hour day? It was just
I believe it
like
did,
a job?
Or at least in Europe, I think it used to be. Maybe it still is in Europe. They're more civilized over there in general.
It's the one industry where work conditions aren't improving.
No, it's just going just the opposite. It's just getting worse and worse.
I once asked Woody Allen for his advice to a fledgling film director, and he's the best advice I can give you is to get in really good shape, get a treadmill, get on it like at least half an hour a day. Just get yourself in really good physical condition, just because it's really a grueling day. By the end of the day, you're really just going to start to lose it.
And then the odd thing about Woody is like somehow he goes home and he's like writing the next picture,
writing, directing, and editing
all
unbelievable.
different,
no idea.
all different
and
things.
he goes to the basketball game every day.
Yeah.
How does he do that? I have no idea.
And I guess whatever happened, that whole thing with his daughter has taken him down a peg in terms of the public. But he's still done. He must have had a run of like 23 masterpieces in a row. And yet somehow people are like, oh, that Woody Allen, it's awful what he did.
Right.
Yeah, no, if those movies just came out and nobody had heard of the guy, and it's like that was a movie by a new guy that year, everybody go, what a masterpiece, it's the greatest movie, this guy's a genius.
I know.
Yeah, you've come to expect so much from the guy that it's hard to sort of top yourself.
It is awful to have any kind of history of anything good because we won't let it go.
No.
And you're always going back, well, it's not Manhattan.
Right.
That's where he was really great. You guys working together on this one, the Art School Confidential, did you both go to art school or?
He did. I did.
Yeah,
I did.
And the feeling is not all that great about it.
I had a lot of fun there, and I hope that comes across. I mean, my thought when I was writing it, I hope when adults see this, like adults with kids about to go to college, they see the film and they go, well, whew, thank God, my kid won't want to go to art school now. And then meanwhile, the kids will see it and go, boy, I'm counting the minutes till I can go to art school.
Well, one of the problems is we don't even know what art is in a modern world, right?
Yeah.
We're not exactly sure. Yeah.
Right. And it's like the Old West. It's like a world without rules. And you go in and you try your best, and it may not work.
It's so subjective anyway.
Right.
Opinions about art. I was in the editing room one day and had strung these 8 takes together of Jim Broadbent doing this one scene. We had 4 visitors to the editing room come in. I tried this experiment where I each told them, let's watch all these 8 takes, and you guys decide, write down a piece of paper what you think is the best take. I'd already chosen take 6, kept that to myself, and they all chose a different take. And it seemed very obvious to me that take 6 is the best take, but it's very subjective.
Yeah, how many of the editing process, what's that even like for you? Is that where you're really just doubting yourself constantly?
No, I actually enjoy the editing process because it's not quite as much time pressure on it. You can sort of take your time and explore and play around with the footage and see how you can change things and rearrange things and shape the performances.
And you've done so much documentary work, right? Your 2 big films.
Louis Blue is my first film. Then I did this film, Crumb, and actually did another documentary, but it hasn't come out yet. I haven't had time to go back, and it's all shot. I just never had time to go back and put it together as a completely uncommercial film about the history of Hawaiian music that maybe 12 people would ever want to see.
But those
Someday
12 will love it.
Right. Someday I'll go back and do it. Yeah.
But when you're doing a documentary, that's basically how you write in the editing, right?
Well,
I mean, you have to be a strong editor to be able to...
It certainly helps, yeah. It really, certainly with Crumb, that was a really difficult film to edit. And took a long time, yeah.
And I understand at certain points Crumb wanted to back out. He thought maybe it's not a good idea.
Well, he originally was very reluctant to let me do a film on him to begin with. But once we got rolling, he was okay with it. There were a couple times when he just really was getting sick of the whole process, being followed around with a camera. I mean, who wouldn't be? It'd be horrible. But he said, many times he'd turn to me and say, if you weren't my best friend, I'd be so long gone in this, But he never expected that film to ever be seen outside of a few tiny film festivals or possibly even just my living room. And for a long time, I thought he was right. I couldn't get a film festival to even accept that film at first. And finally, the New York Film Festival took it, and then other people seemed to like it.
Well, I mean, now, too, for him, that's going to be kind of the definitive look at his work or maybe even life by people, It's a really strange thing for that to represent you, I guess, right?
Yeah, it'd be very strange. I wouldn't like it at all if I was him. Somebody else's subjective take on me, You want to write your own image to a certain extent. You want to be in control of that. It's just natural.
Now, I guess you're moved by the comic book stuff, but why this piece that Dan did? Why not one of the others? What was it about this that worked for you?
How did we wind up doing this, Dan? I don't remember.
I came to this. I have such a befogged memory of the whole thing. It was a subject I always felt like, I'd gone to art school and it was at this very formative point in my life, and I felt like I had this real clear vision of all these funny details that you never see anywhere in any other movies or medium. And I think I just said to you, I could do anything in an art school setting, just like, if you want to do it, I'll write it. And
then I got that job to do Bad Santa. When I came back, you'd finished writing it.
Yeah, here it is.
Bad Santa, I guess, must have added a lot to your reputation. That was a big commercial hit for you, right?
Right, and it helped me get this film made, I'm sure, because it made so much money. My version of Bad Santa's never been seen. It's going to have its world premiere April 28th at Roger Ebert's Overlook Film Festival in Champaign, Illinois.
Is that right?
Very excited about it. Very satisfying as a filmmaker to finally have it seen just the way you want it.
What didn't we see in the commercial
What's
release?
different about it?
Yeah.
I don't know, as objective as I can be about it. I like to think my version's more consistent overall and emotionally much more moving by the end of the film because it's just played much more truthfully.
I can't wait to see it. So it'll come out on DVD after that?
On DVD. I just did the director's commentary for Disney owns it now, and they're going to put it out closer to Christmas.
Disney.
There may be a small theatrical re-release, in selected cities like New York, L.A.
Now, who kept you from initially? Was it the studio that said, come on, this is going too far? Or
Well, it's, largely determined by, and it happens all the time on films these days where, films get tested. There's these NRG testings and the audience wants a different ending or they don't like this about it. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of money at stake and oftentimes films get changed, People don't know that. People just don't even think that happens, probably. Don't even think about it.
And really, the sad thing there is the people who aren't the creative people are deciding, I just want to see what I already know. It'd be like going back into the kitchen somewhere saying, take the spices out because that's not the way my mom makes it, and we're going to be stuck with bland food forever because
it's been going on forever, though. It's been going on back to the days of Irving Thalberg, and the Champ.
Right.
Let's make the ending very upbeat, have him win the fight,
we saw Earl and I went and saw the Weinstein brothers talk the other night, the 92nd Wine. I guess you guys were there the other night?
Yeah, like the night after.
Yeah, and Harvey was bringing up Thalberg over and over.
Was he really?
Yeah, and was basically saying, who says that the director is the creative one?
Oftentimes
it's really, it's really us in the studio.
Producers are, have much more influence than others. Sure.
Yeah. And he definitely will, once you got us to work an 8-hour day, turn this stuff over to him and let him figure it out.
Terry Swigoff and Daniel Close in studio. Their new film is Art School Confidential, and that's opening nationwide May 5th.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys, and best of luck to you with this stuff.
Thank you very
much.
Man.
It's cool to see working. Next, you'll be doing this. Anything else you guys got planned in the future? Or
I'm writing something for... Johnny Depp asked me to turn some book he owns into a film, so I'm working on that.
Always weird stuff with Johnny Depp, though, right? I mean, he could be very commercial, but then he's always got one foot in the odd stuff.
He's a movie star who can also be a character actor, very unusual.
Yeah. Good guy, too? Decent guy?
Yeah, I didn't want to even meet him. I just thought I'd hate him.
Yeah.
I hate most celebrities and movie stars. I actually really liked him. And it's one of the reasons I agreed to do this thing, so...
Now, how did you get to the point where you hate most movie stars? Just meeting them over the years?
The cult of celebrity is so repulsive to me. You know, you go to Sundance Film Festival where we went to try to kick off promoting this film, and Main Street just crowded around somebody. You're looking to see, who is it? Is Woody Allen here? Or David Lynch? Or some great directors? Oh, no, it's Paris Hilton. That's who they want to see, you know.
You know, it's really odd because I remember even growing up, we heard, everything's commercial. But it's 10 times worse now.
Yeah.
I mean, E! Entertainment runs 24 hours a day, and everything is about just the flash and very little of the substance.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, best of luck to you guys. Thanks for stopping
Thank you
by.
very much.
It was great meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Terry Swagoff and Daniel Close. Check out Art School Confidential, opening across the country May 5th.
Should be a lot of fun, huh, Fezzy?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what else is coming out this weekend? We've got some other films coming out this weekend.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of what's coming out this weekend. Thank You for Not Smoking coming out this weekend?
I caught that last weekend, and I wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be terrific, and it wasn't quite there. Love a dark comedy, but it just didn't pop for me.
I know that The New World starring Colin Farrell, that's supposed to be opening in Japan with new technology that is emitting aromas and odors all throughout the movie. Now, if it's a Colin Farrell movie, all I can imagine is it's whiskey and cigarettes that you're going to smell.
Didn't, what's his name, the guy from Hairspray try this years ago, Smell-O-Vision?
Yeah.
What is his name, John? What's his name, Earl?
John Waters.
John Waters, thank you. Yeah, he did a thing where you would have like a little piece of paper that you would scratch and sniff as you were watching the film, and of course it was fart and stuff like that.
So I guess this is like for any love scenes, there's supposed to be like a floral scent that comes out in the theater.
Why would that be?
I have no idea what that means.
You're fucking a rose? I don't see it happening.
And then for some reason, the sad moments are a mix of peppermint and rosemary. I had no idea that mint made people sad and evoked tears.
Well, you know, smells are so powerful, so incredibly powerful, that sometimes I've smelled some things and my memory is almost like a vision. Like I can picture it perfectly, and most of the time it has to do stuff from when I was a little kid. But there are certain smells like that library paste smell. It'll take me back to kindergarten like that.
Yeah, there's a smell like if there's certain foods that I can smell them like a sloppy Joe. That'll take me back to school.
It's your mom's cooking too. Will bring you back to certain ages. You know, when you haven't been home in a while.
Mothballs will always remind me of my grandmother because she used to leave. She would go out of town for months at a time and stay at my aunt's house and just cover the house, just pour mothballs out all over the floor.
I don't even know if mothballs exist anymore. They were only really used by the elderly.
I think she used them all up. She just spread them out everywhere. So can't smell a mothball without actually smelling grandma. Or a cedar closet is the same way.
Your grandmother was always in a cedar closet?
Her cedar closet just reminded me of Grandma's clothes. I guess that's where she kept them while she was away.
Earl, have you heard the new Neil Young song at all yet? Supposedly he's got a new protest album coming out. And then one of the songs is just going to be called Impeach the President. Which is just so blunt. It's not even like a metaphor anymore. Just impeach the president.
He's just putting up lyrics on his website. They haven't released any music yet, and one of the press releases he put out, he said we're still playing it for the executives, and new music will be released shortly. But yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't leaked yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised as well. And why was he caring about impeachment? Haven't we learned that impeachment means nothing? It's just nothing at all.
I think he's thinking like Nixon impeachment, where we're literally just throwing him on a helicopter and shipping him up in New Jersey.
Nixon wasn't impeached. He left. He went off on his own.
He quit before he could get impeached.
If he would have seen how well Clinton shook off his impeachment, he would have stayed and taken it. It's not that big of a problem. Colin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. Miss you in Tampa. Glad you're on XM.
Thanks, buddy.
I was just going to say that of the five senses, smell, the olfactory gland is actually the only one linked to memory. So even though it sounds stupid in theory, it's actually a pretty good idea.
Now, I don't understand that. If you see somebody, you can have a memory. If you read something, it can bring in memory.
If you hear a song you haven't heard in a while.
Song is very, very big for memory.
Those go actually, just in your short-term memory, and you can recall them later on, but the olfactory gland is actually attached to part of the medulla oblongata, so it actually makes a scent, so you can smell a pine and be immediately remembered of Christmas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To me, I got to agree with you that smell is the biggest, but music, Fez is also 100% right, that everybody remembers the music. To them, the best music of all time took place whenever they went to high school. That's why, let's say, the blowhard. He is constantly thinking music is getting worse, not the fact that his life is so much worse, in terms like he doesn't have that just feeling, that great feeling about life that you did in high school.
There's nothing new that can push his nostalgia buttons. So I give him that comfort that he gets from other things.
Right, exactly right. So he never really was appreciating music. He was just enjoying his whole life at the time. Well, that's interesting, though. So, Neil Young, when this song comes out, you'll throw it to us, right, Earl?
Yes, absolutely.
Mets, I saw this in the paper. Mets, their biggest start of all time. History of the Mets, getting off to their biggest, fastest start. Let's bring in Dave for this. I know he's our baseball guy. Earl only pays attention to the Yankees. Dave is baseball across the board. Dave, can they take this to the wire? I'll tell you, it's a great in baseball. If you get out to that early start, you get out to that big lead at the beginning of the year, and it's tough to catch that guy.
Guarantee they choke like the little crop of Queen's pussies that they
But I
are.
don't want you to be that way. I want you to look at this with a critical eye, not your prejudice of hating Queens where you live.
At a year ago or 2 years ago, the Braves were at one point 35 and 39. 35 and 39, and they ended up winning 96 games.
Right.
Which tells you that they always come through in the end. They're a second half
Until the
team.
playoffs. Until the playoffs. Why waste the fucking playoffs on the Braves? That's my problem with that town.
Well, maybe they should be banned from the playoffs. But, look, if they're going to win 96, the Mets bullpen will falter.
All right. So you're calling if the Braves will win again?
The Braves will win 93 games. The Mets, 92.
So it's going right down to the wire.
It's going right there. And they won't even make, and they will not make the wild card because the wild card, again, is coming out of Central.
All right, so there you have it from our baseball guy, Eastside Dave. Randy, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Big ass 307, buddy.
Hey, buddy, how are you, Randy?
I heard that during a Rob Schneider movie, it smells like shit the whole time.
No, that's during the writing and directing and acting. That's when it really smells like shit. The problem with Rob Schneider is this Benchwarmer movie, for him, gigantic. And he'll be around for the rest of your life now. You will not be able to dodge Rob Schneider for anything.
That's all it takes for him. He could get a modest hit and get 3 more movies out of it. A decent hit just stays with him.
I do not want smell-o-vision. I want some distance between my life and what happens on the screen.
You're totally missing out, Mr. B. Well, you love Goodfellas. Every time you watch Goodfellas, you're going to get a little lasagna, a little garlic bread. Every time.
Yes, but then what happens when I watch Das Boot? I'm going to have to sit there and smell fucking Germans in a can? That's going to be my idea of a day?
What about in Goodfellas? You want to smell lime when they're burying a body out in the back?
Yes!
It's going to be awful.
I always want to know what that smells like.
No, because if you have to smell the good movies, you have to smell the bad ones, too.
Yeah, you're going to smell everything.
You're going to smell Kathy Bates' fat ass in Misery.
Bring it on. We need some more realism in there.
You want Bates stank. You want to sit down on a date, and there's Bates stank in the fucking theater.
I'd love to have Bates stank. I'd love to have Bates 3D.
And then other films that, like, are heartbreaking to you now, you might find disgusting, like Schindler's List. Like Schindler's List, instead of crying, you're going to be sitting there with a sweater over your face.
Because that is going to have some rank stank to it.
If you can have a volume button where you can control the volume, I'm sure there's a way you can control the smell.
When you're in a theater, you fucking control the volume. No. You're forced, you're given what you don't ever go out to a movie, do you?
I do. I go see them. My idea of smell-o-vision, though, wouldn't be the theater. It would be a little tiny mask on the seat in front of you, like on the back of that seat.
Well, that's not the way
you
it's
would get
working.
a mask. Well, why not? We'll just alter it.
Fez is telling you how it works.
This is the way they're doing it with this new Colin Farrell movie, The New World. In Japan. It releases aromas into the theater during different dramatic and emotional scenes.
Now, what happens if you go see Backdraft, right? You're smelling the fire. You don't fucking realize that your theater's on fire by a couple of kids in the back, but you're going, oh, Jesus Christ, this is amazing.
Oh, just sit down. That's just the movie. That's just Kurt Russell's jacket.
See, they could totally release poison gas from that stuff and kill the whole theater. I would be very paranoid about that. But if you have a mask where I can control if I want to do...
Anyone can release poison gas at all time. You don't need this new stuff. Here is Grover. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Grover.
How about the scene in 7 when they walk in and they find that dusty dead lady?
Oh, my God. And they had to have all those little trees up.
Oh.
Those little stink trees. Or just the fat guy sitting there dead.
But again, fat guy was sitting in spaghetti meatballs. So you're going to get both.
What kind? Canned. Maybe that's good for you, Irish Mick. But that's not the kind I can eat.
Bloated dead fat guy is going to overpower ragu. It's just a fact of nature.
Tanis, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, buddy.
ESD was talking about how he'd love to be able to smell what a dead person smells like or whatever. Before I was a trucker, I used to lay people to rest. I was the person that used to lay you. I was the last person to let you down ever. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
At one point, in the cemetery I was working with, we had to move a body. And the casket wasn't as sealed as properly as it should have been.
All right, bro.
I was on the other side of the cemetery, and I could smell it from there.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a pleasant memory.
I had to scrub my board because we used planks to set everything down on. I had to scrub those things for 3 days, metal planks, before I could ever get the smell out of that. I mean, it's just one of the...
All right, I got you. Thank you very much.
You know what I mean? It's just
Me personally, I'd like that. A little Kill Bill, switching bodies all over the place.
I'll tell you, from smoking cigars and then also, going to Marcus Hook Elementary School, I can barely smell a damn thing anyway. I can barely smell anything.
I am just the opposite. I am so sensitive to smells. Someone's got some cologne on down the sidewalk, I can smell it and it's giving me a headache.
You sensitive boys are always that way, I noticed too. Sensitive guys are always really sensitive to smells.
And women, because I know my mom has she's like a fucking...
She stinks?
Terrier. No, but...
She stinks like a terrier?
No, I mean she's able to hunt with,
able to hunt.
I kept thinking about the dog.
You can take her out hunting. Will she point or just tell you, Dave, it's over there?
This mom won't hunt.
Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Man, I'm just thinking they hope they re-release the Cheech and Chong movies in the theaters with this technology. Sneak up in there with a fat dude.
See, that's my thing.
Great.
When people talk about contact high, I don't actually think that you're taking in enough that you're getting high. I think it is just reminding you of times before when you were really high.
I think that's a really great point.
Thank you.
No, I
make a lot of them over the course of his show. I really do. I look at these, they're showing these kids that are charged with the rape, and one of them looks like Norton to me. She the woman that got raped, Jackie? Jackie?
That's the cousin of the alleged victim.
Male cousin or female?
Man, is that a tranny. That is a cross-dresser. Look at the chin. That's Jay Leno's chin.
Basically, it looks like Leon Spinks with a funny fucking wig on. Hey, Daniel, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I just wanted to say that you can't have a mask in a movie theater because look at all the freaking germs out there. You're going to leave the movie theater with herpes or freaking AIDS.
Well, you can't get AIDS
from a mask.
But
I never want that word said in here again.
But, you know, we'll have official sterilizers in the sanitation
It's
department.
not way. You're making shit up like you're part of it. You've got nothing to do with this, Dave. You and the terrier have to just go there and get whatever the rest of us get. Here's Bobby. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Bob. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, you know, I think it generally would be kind of cheesy, but think of going to see like Platoon or something and smelling the gun smoke. That would be sweet.
I don't know if I want to smell that. I don't want to smell Vietnam in my nose.
Thinking of Vietnam, we would finally get to smell napalm in the morning. And that would be worth it right off the bat. We'd get to smell the napalm in the morning.
Wouldn't that cause people to scurry?
Bring it on.
You know what? You might be right about that, Fezzy. People probably get queasier from smells than anything that they ever seen. I wonder if there was some movie where the guy's puking, and then you got to smell puke.
Yeah, like Stand By Me and the Total Barfarama.
But wait a second. Would it be movie puke, or would that be real puke?
What do you mean movie puke?
Well, because if, like, for instance, in Martin Scorsese, he uses real foods, so you would smell that.
Starving.
But maybe the movie puke
would be nice smelling, so then why even do it?
You know The Exorcist is going to stink.
The whole point was to have it as realistic as possible, right? Just like you want blood to look like real blood, not fucking different colors.
That's true.
You with me on that?
They put these smelling apparatus in the theaters. The Clumps isn't going to be Earl's favorite movie anymore.
Or maybe it would, more than ever. He's just fucking hanging around down by the screen. Big grin on his face and a heart on. Hey, Mark, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say, would you like to be sitting around impressing your date one night? You sit down and you go take her to the movies and Blazing Saddles is playing and Smell-O-Vision?
Oh, wait a minute. First of all, this date that you're impressing, what are you taking her in a time machine to go to the movies? The movie came out in 1970.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw it in the theater? Fucking Nixon was in office.
He's found a 50-cent theater that he likes to take the ladies to.
Blazing Saddles.
God.
Jesus.
Return of the Jedi, you know, that would be so great.
In space, there's no smells.
The Jabba the Hutt scene? You're going to tell me we're not going to be getting some real sweat and, you know, a big worm sweat or whatever kind of creature.
A big worm sweat.
And he was always eating foods like in frogs.
You know what I love about you? When you can't get out of something, your face turns almost purple. We can see your panic. Look at him.
I'm sweating.
What is their toilet paper sitting in front of the director today? Like here, wipe your ass here. I don't want toilet paper sitting out in front of these guys.
All right.
You mind?
Earl, how did that interview go?
I thought it went very well.
You're the only one who saw the film. I'm in here fucking faking it. Ken, you're on Ron and Fez.
Ronnie and Fezzy, I love you guys.
Hey, buddy.
Fezzy, imagine sitting home at night and watching some nasty old gay porn with all that man ass in the room.
Well, it's not coming out on TV, is it?
No, this is just in the theaters.
Just in the theaters?
Although I'll tell you, nobody will watch the Robin Bird show. It will be done. No one will be able to turn it on anymore.
Again, it takes me back to the smell of mothballs.
How old are you? Polish Mark, you're on Ron and Fez. Sometimes it just stuns me, some of your references. What can we do for you, pal?
What about Goodfellas? The scene where in the can they're fucking cooking up the gravy. Like you, Ronnie, they're gonna be, I'm fucking starving. You're gonna walk right out of the fucking theater.
Cutting the first of all, I can't sit through Goodfellas anyway. I'm so starving. But when they're slicing the garlic with a razor blade, so it liquefies. Yeah. Fucking starving.
I even like it when Henry's getting himself a little ham sandwich. You know, even that part makes me hungry. Right before he meets De Niro, it's the best food movie in the history of cinema, without question.
It's a damn good one, and Scorsese is known for that. But remember too when in Goodfellas and Godfather when he was making the spaghetti, putting a little sugar in there.
And and it looked nice and
he had
thick.
Cannolis.
Yeah, that's true, cannolis.
It's fucking good food. The wedding food was nice.
Casino didn't really have a lot of food.
Not a lot of food, but Vegas has that. You know, everyone brags about Vegas and it's a $3 steak. Fucking tastes like it too.
Mean Streets had a lot of food. Another good Scorsese one.
Scorsese should just work for the Food Network.
For your favorite food films.
So is Mario going to come in or no now, Earl? Or should I cry like a baby for 3 days?
They asked if we could reschedule for Friday.
Sure. Sure. Of course we could. Who's easier to get along with than me, Earl? Who's easier?
You are very, very easy.
Don't kiss up to me.
I'm not.
Be like a regular guy. Be like me and you are two guys together.
I'm being honest. You're one of the most steady.
You can't come up with another name of someone who's easier to get along with.
No, I can't think of anyone. You're steady rolling.
Here's what I don't respect: is the kissing up thing.
I'm not kissing up. I'm being honest.
Michael J. Fox would probably be easier to get along with than you.
That shaky motherfucker. I'm fucking 10 times nicer than him. 10 times nicer.
Jimmy Carter seems pretty easygoing.
Jimmy Carter?
Yeah. I bet he never gets upset.
No.
He fucking screams at people. He literally fucking freaks out. I saw him go after one of those Habitat people with a claw hammer. Tried to fucking rip their head off. I guess they were wasting nails.
Well, that's not right, because those people are volunteers.
You volunteer to do good work, not shit work. I can't blame them. Here's George. George, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Say hello to us, George.
Hey, guys. I miss Eastside Couch and Spatula.
Yeah, me too. Those kids are lovely.
The smell-o-vision thing's horrible. I mean, what if you smelled $1 Million Baby? All you'd get is denture grip and swank stink.
I thought it stunk anyway. I thought it was worse than Crash, even though that's hard to say. Every film that wins the Oscar anymore stinks like ass. Chicago.
Totally unreasonable, Mr. B.
What, Crash is
$1
good?
Million Baby was an unbelievable movie. You didn't like any of what...
I agree with you. I didn't believe it even slightly. It was absolutely unbelievable.
What didn't you like about it?
The whole fake fucking ending. The fact that you're going from a girl Rocky into this stupid gimmick of whether or not we care whether this girl dies or not.
It was quite prophetic. Remember, it was only a few months before Sandra leave. No,
I want you to remind me what was so prophetic here.
I mean the
who?
The lady,
the vet,
the vegetable in Florida. I was gonna say who's the
All right, first of all, what do you even got to think of? Let's suppose you show up to the hospital, right?
Right.
Your friend says, "I can't live like this. I'm paralyzed. Kill me."
Yeah.
What do?
I would kill him.
You don't even think twice.
I'd feel guilty.
No real friend would think twice before they put that pillow over her head.
But what if, like, by chance there was a miracle? You know, then I'm pretty much depriving him of. We'll see, like down the line, like a month from now, he's in a coma still. But then a miracle happens and he gets all healthy.
He asked you for the help, right?
Yeah.
He said, "I can't live like this for another moment."
Right.
He's not saying, "Give it 10 years, maybe a miracle will come up." He's saying, "Get me out of this." Earl, is there any way that you don't get him out of it?
No, I would do it. I would definitely do it.
No way.
I would do it. No, I would do it. I mean,
I think Earl would.
No way Earl would do it.
If the essence of the person that you knew is no longer there.
And they're begging you like the fly, help me, help me.
And if they're just absolutely in agony and suffering and you know they're not coming back to the way you knew them and loved them.
You don't even think twice about
it.
No, I'm saying, like...
I'd put him through a meat grinder before I let him be like that.
I would say, look, pal, I love you, so I'm going to give you 100 days. And if by 100
days of torture. I mean, for them, it might feel like their skin's on fire.
Just 100, and day 101, if no miracle happens...
You know what I say to you?
I'll inject you fucking myself.
Here's what I do. Kill me, would you?
Okay, 100 days.
Do me a favor, call Earl and have him stop by. Because you're fucking nothing to me. Get out! Fezzy, does you even think twice?
Yeah, I think twice about it. I do.
That's one of the problems with you. When I always say, I'm your friend and you're not my friend,
right?
You always put yourself at the center. You got to take care of your friend. To be any kind of friend in the world, you've got to be there to go, I'm going to go over and above for this person. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Ron, be my friend for 5 minutes and put a pillow over Dave's face and put him out of his misery.
I'm going to tell you right now, Dave, you do seem like a mercy killing is on the way. There's only one reason you're still with us right now.
Okay.
Roberto. Roberto will leave if you're canned.
I could probably talk him to staying if you...
Roberto would get a cake, though, if he left.
Bob, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, what's up, boys? 1027 Long Island.
Way to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you can't leave your boys hanging. Look at Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan, you know?
You got to do it.
Wait, that's the point. He didn't kill Lieutenant Dan, and then a miracle happens, and he was able to walk at the end of the movie.
First of all, it's a retard movie. It means nothing. I wanted to be killed watching that fucking film. And that thing wins the Oscar over Pulp Fiction. This is what I'm trying to tell you about how I feel about the Oscars. They're garbage.
I don't vote. I don't have an Academy Award,
what?
Ability.
You don't have that power?
No. I do have some Writers Guild authority, if you want me to pull some strings for you.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Seth, you're on Ron and Fez.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Earl freaks out anytime he goes outside his comfort zone. And, for instance, he ran down the stairs shrieking like a little girl when O&A challenged him. Well, I mean, how's he going to watch somebody? I just don't see that happening.
All right, there's a good point here, Earl. Can you be dependent on? You did run down the steps crying that day.
Well, I wasn't crying. I was
If
angry.
Anthony said, Earl, I need you to kill me, would you?
Yes, absolutely.
If Opie said it?
Yes.
What if you just got a note from somebody that says, hi, it's Anthony, I want you to kill me? Would you check or would you just go do it?
I would definitely check before.
Always check. Very
Always
good.
check.
You know why? There's so many pranks that go on around here. Could you kill Fez?
If he asked me, and if I knew he was suffering, and it's so obvious that he's, and if he,
Would you do this? Could you kill the mayor of Midgetville if I asked you to?
if the mayor of Midgetville was suffering, and again, and he wasn't going to be back to the person that you knew ever. I mean, if he was just, if he was
I don't
just
even
existing,
see what is your debate here, Fezzy? What are you worried about?
My debate is exactly what the caller asked Earl. Would I physically be able to make myself take a life like that?
Because you value that life. That's how you would do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You love that person. You value that person. You do the right thing. If you don't, if you go, I value my comfort more than theirs, then you don't do it.
I would, if I did it, it couldn't be the smothering with a pillow. I couldn't do that.
How would you do it?
I would have to, unplug their ventilator or...
Oh, my God. Don't come by and unplug my ventilator. Give me some kind of thing faster than that.
Or inject something in the IV.
See, that's the thing, Mr. B. Earl would never be able to inject someone. He can't be. He would not. How would Earl
Why are you blaming Earl? Earl's saying he's going to do it.
He's not. There's no way.
And let's say, if you were just existing as opposed to actually living, you know what I mean? I'm like, of course I do.
I know you would kill me, Earl, but Ron or Fez.
All right, let me say this. Earl, how would you kill me?
Probably by a needle or something, injection.
Thank you. I'm going to tell this, Earl, in case this comes up. I can't be killed by needles if I would already be dead. Believe me when I tell you, I wake up the next day. So you can't fucking hot shot me enough. You're going to have to use a bullet like a fucking man. You're going to have to paint the goddamn pillow red.
Right in the back of the head or right in between the eyes?
Yeah, you got to give me a brain shot. All right, Fezzy, who would you ask to do you in here? Who would you feel more comfortable with?
I would ask you to do it, Ron.
Because of what you put me through, though, and I will do it for you, I'm going to torture you a little before you go down. Because of the way you've tortured me over the years. The mental torture. Who would you want to do you? Out of all four of us.
I think you, Ronnie, because you'd be the fastest. I generally think. I know Earl would probably... He'd probably do a half of a thing.
Yeah, I am going to do you for you if you need, but I'm going to put a fucking funny hat on you. I'm going to write some shit. I'm probably going to shave one of your eyebrows.
See, I actually would like that. That's the thing. I would enjoy going out as a clown,
And
so
then,
I have no problem.
Because when I show up in court later and I go, look, I couldn't have my friend feel like that. And they'll go, well, why did you put the fucking funny hat on him? Why did you put I'm a pussy across his belly and then shave off the eyebrows?
Death hazing.
And I'm gonna it was like a little fun. That was a joke between us.
I have to pick Ronnie because Ronnie is the only one that would, I think, actually get the job done. I agree that Earl would back out and not do it, and Eastside Dave would so botch it that I would end up not only dying but disfigured as well.
When you had your heart attack, Fezzy, and you were brain dead for a little while, I had it in the back of my head that I would be able to do something.
When was I brain dead? During my heart attack.
I thought you were brain dead the way you were talking.
No, I wasn't brain dead. I didn't even lose consciousness.
Like, mommy, help me. I'm like, I can't have him live like this.
That was your suffering, not mine. I was okay at that point.
You never gave yours, Ronnie.
Who would do it here?
Who would you have of us to kill you?
I wouldn't trust any of you guys. If anybody here, I'm going to go Earl. Because I think, well, I already know Earl did it for Muni, and that was kind of him. And I think he would do it for me.
Boy, you're making a huge mistake. I will do
You're a bumbling motherfucker, Dave, just so you know. You are a bumbling son of a bitch.
Eastside Dave would kill a nurse.
You didn't send a goddamn email to Fez that was due.
I swear I did. I would give you a nice flush shotgun. You know? Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing for my mother now? I can't have an open fucking casket thanks to you?
I mean, like in the belly or something.
You're gonna gut shot me. You know how long it takes you to die with a gut shot? I gotta go quick. Ryan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't choose Earl because he just tell you he's working on it the whole time. Took him more than 100 days to
Yes, we're getting it done. Yes, buddy, we're working on it. Earl, can I fucking count on you to do me fast and clean?
Quick and painless.
Wiki has been informed that you want to die.
What kind of method would you use on Ronnie?
Probably just like a lot of morphine or something.
It ain't gonna work, Earl.
he didn't
If
let
anything, I'm just gonna light up a goddamn smoke. That's the problem with me. You're gonna go, I gave him enough morphine to die. You're gonna come back later and I got a fucking Velvet Underground album going. And I'm smoking.
Or 44 to the head.
Jeez.
Am, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, Bron?
Yeah.
You got to go with Bronx Johnny to take you out. Not Earl. Earl doesn't got it in him. Bronx Johnny, one slip of that wrist, he'll have to cut your jugular.
I know that Bronx Johnny's a slicer. I don't know if he goes deep enough to kill. I mean, he tells me he's in a knife fight and he just wants to slice the other person. I don't know.
And how long is that? Even if a jugular gets sliced, is that a long death? Long gurgly death?
No, yeah, that would be terrible because I saw this on the Iceman Confesses. It takes the guy a bunch of minutes because what happens is you drown in your own blood.
I didn't see that Iceman Confesses. Was it nuts?
Yeah, I have it on HBO Demand. He's just a very dry...
But did you get the first Iceman too? You got both on there?
There's Iceman Confesses and Iceman Psychiatrist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the new one.
It's just they're equally... I actually had to turn off the Iceman Psychiatrist after a while because
Why?
after hearing like throwing dogs off the roof and stuff, forget it. You know.
Well, you can watch a murder thing until a dog gets hurt?
It was really weird because you know how I like to watch serial killer specials and books and stuff. But once they started, like, he talked about putting this cat in his town furnace or incinerator, and the cat's making these ungodly noises and stuff and kicking dogs off the roof, I had to turn the channel.
Because of your mom, the terrier. It hit a little too close to home for him.
All right, let's take a break here. We come back. You bought your poetry stuff for us, Dave?
I brought some poetry, yes, and some original lyrics, which I've always found to be poems from my band in high school. But,
what was your band's name in high school?
Guys with Ears.
Guys with Ears.
Yeah, we thought it was a funny name.
Now looking back on it, is it?
No.
No. Like most of your stuff you thought was funny, doesn't work out that way?
Yeah, it usually falls short.
Okay. All right, we'll look back a little bit with Eastside Dave's high school stuff. Ron and Fez Show.
Fast forward 1 year to 1987, WrestleMania 3, the Pontiac Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. Over 93,000 fans. You teamed up with Nikolai Volkov to take on the Killer Bees, and that's where your feud began with Hacksaw Jim Duggan when he interfered at the end of that match. What was it like to be in that massive crowd?
You asked me excellent question. The great feeling all time I had all my life, Mr. Dan Maloney, it was that night, Pontiac, Michigan, Silverdome.
Correct.
Michigan.
Silverdome, Pontiac,
yes,
Michigan.
Sir. And that was a great honor, great feeling to wrestling next to 93,000 people, no any musician, no any football player, no any sport event in your country sold out, Madison Square Garden. I mean, Pontiac, Michigan,
right.
exact wrestling. It was a great feeling, Dan Maloney. Try wrestling with Jim Brunzeller And that jabroni, Brian Blair.
Brian Blair, right.
Brian Blair, you are another faggot son of a bitch, no good lowlife. So I want to let you know, you are punk, you are fag, you are punk, little gay, worse than Michael Jackson. It was great feeling. I have a lot of respect for them. His partner, Jim Brunzera from Minnesota, great athlete, great high jumper, but that little punk, Brian Blair, another little fag, worse than Michael Jackson. And I didn't like him. I didn't like his attitude. He was a punk. I can break his fucking back. Break his back, make him humble, and then fuck his ass. I didn't do it in the Pontiac, Michigan, because respect my sport and respect Mr. McMahon.
You were a professional.
A professional. Otherwise was ready to do it to him all country way, make him humble. Suplex him, put him in a camel clutch, break his back, and then fuck his ass, make him humble to he respect our shit. And I didn't do it because for God and Jesus and Mr. McMahon. Brian Blair, you are no good. You are worse than Michael Jackson. I'll never respect you again. And then he was lucky to the big man, American 2x4 hacksaw. You was lucky, punk. I didn't break your back to fuck your ass, make you humble. And he was lucky I asked Jim Duggan come save him, and I didn't break his back. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm a shooter, man. You're a punk. I respect your partner, Jim Brunzella. I never respect the gay. I never respect the fag. You are worse than Hulk Hogan. And you're lucky I didn't break your back and I have to come save you. And that was a great feeling to wrestling 93,000 people, and you was so lucky to the hacksaw come save you before I break your back and I do all country way to make you humble. And besides that, everything was great.
It's the Iron Sheik making things happen out there. I'm a shooter, man. I'm a shooter.
You know, B. Brian Blair never did thank him for not breaking his back and fucking his ass.
He deserved it, too. Those, Killer Bees never did anything for me, Fez. I never got it.
No, the gimmick was supposed to be they put on masks after the match already starts.
What did that mean, though?
Yeah, then they would change places. They would cheat that way. Yeah, not a lot there to that gimmick with Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and B. Brian Blair.
There was one time that was cool where they had like 2 additional Killer Bees hide under the ring, do you remember? And then they kept running under the ring and hiding under the ring. And
That's the old Executioner's gimmick.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Sure you did. All right, speaking of cool, you brought us some of your poetry. This is from when you were in high school, right?
Yeah, this is...
You were in Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, and it's some really good stuff, I think.
All right. This is when you were a senior in high school?
Well, this poem, this one poem is when I was a senior. Mm-hmm. And then you also have one of my notebooks there. That's really quite a treat.
I am trying not to touch it because this thing looks like a filthy spank book. It is yellow.
How'd it get so stained, Dave?
Oh, it's just, that's the...
Dave,
time.
Let's get back into this. Let's just go for your poem and focus on it. Give us some sissy poetry music, Fez.
What do I got here?
The Blues Setting, a poem by David MacDonald. Smoke sifts through the hardened thick debris that clogs you up. It gently plays with the flowing hair you wear on your shoulders. You deny the fact that you want it, that you want to go where it will lead you. Your conscience has been muffled by your off-balanced head and has vomited any values you once contained.
First of all, I'm lost. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
I don't remember.
Smoke?
I think it was supposed to be about a broad. And I was very angry at her because she had made comments about me being strange looking and whatnot.
And she had vomited up her values.
Yeah, it's a very angry, teenage angst poem.
All right, so gotta get back into it.
You speak to yourself out of spite for loneliness and promise yourself grudgingly that soon you will board the path. Mixed feelings have always dulled your savage strengths, and you decide to collect half of your opinions, half of your brain, half of yourself, and burn them next to a pile of sweated butchers before falling acutely asleep.
All right, hold on. This is a poem, right?
Yeah.
When's the rhyming start? When are we going to get some rhyming here?
You want me to choose a different poem?
Yeah, this one's really terrible.
That rhymes.
Yeah.
Something in English.
This one's called The Distasteful Gentleman. I wrote this 3 years earlier. I wasn't quite the skilled poet I was in that poem. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. I hope you're not in any ruts. But tell me, Mr. Squirrel, where do you keep your nuts? This is a poem, by the way.
Yeah, we got it.
Hello there, old man, with your hair club for men foam. Is that your balding head or the Houston Astrodome? Hello there, chubby boy, in your blissful state of mirth. Tell me, are you just big-boned, or did Shamu give birth? And that's called Distasteful Gentleman. This next one, that is also a rhymer, I believe, in AAAA scheme. Every line rhymes, in other words, Mr. B. And this one's called Sunglasses at Night. I was unaware.
Oh, wait, I heard this one. This is really, this was big in the 80s.
I was unaware at the time that there was also a song, a hit song from the 1980s that was called Sunglasses at Night. My poem is much different.
Okay.
We wear sunglasses at night. It may not be that bright. There may not even be any light, but we wear sunglasses at night. We don't even care if it's dark. We like to hear the doggy go bark. We like to scare little children in the park, and we wear sunglasses at night.
I love this poem of yours.
We're like the color blue. We're anti-Elmer's glue. We like the number 2. And we wear sunglasses at night.
So I can watch you weave and breathe your storyline. And I wear my sunglasses at night.
All right, that's a good poem. Here's Johnny. Johnny, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How are you?
Hey, Johnny.
Hey.
Yeah.
What the heck is this Dave's poetry stuff? What are you guys going Brokeback Mountain on me now?
We're going. Bro, I don't know whether you've ever heard us before.
I just thought it would be fine to show some of you people what the other side, the culture side.
You thought you were going to be some kind of poet or writer when you were younger, right?
I really always have loved William Shakespeare, Wordsworth, Longfellow, and I patterned myself after those men to this day.
What were you in school?
I was a popular person. I played.
Didn't you have a poetry job?
Yes, I was the editor of the Arista magazine. Junior year, I was the junior editor, and then senior year, I was the full-fledged editor of the Arista magazine, which is the short story and poetry and photography magazine.
Didn't you say it was the least read magazine in your school?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's an all-boys school, and you're fucking writing poems for each other, and you don't find that a little fruity?
I found it to be revealing, emotional, you know?
Hey, Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Dave, you're from Monmouth County, right?
Yes.
I'm embarrassed for you, bro. I'm
Thank
really embarrassed. That's horrible. You seem like an all right guy, but I'm embarrassed for that poetry.
You do seem like the least Jersey guy from Jersey. I'll give you that.
What part of my poetry didn't you like? I mean, the rhyme scheme was there in the second poem, and
I read the first poem, just the first. Just give us what you feel like is the meat of it.
The first poem, I'll give you the very last part.
All right, good.
You utter your contrition through compact teeth and decide. The haze was well in its intentions, destroying in its actions. You kissed your finger gently, swiftly, and descend through the smoke.
You don't even know what it means, though, right?
No, I haven't a clue, actually. I was taking lots of acid at the time.
No, if you took some acid, it would be somewhat interesting.
That thing stinks. You can't tell a thing of what you're talking about.
Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, we found a good thing about his poetry.
Yeah.
It makes his ventriloquism sound great.
I'm willing to bet that Roberto would do better. You've tried so many things in your life. Poetry, ventriloquism, JV baseball. None of it ever works out for you.
They don't seem to stick, but I give it a go. I think Roberto is here to stay.
You're a gamer. I will give you that. You've written a short story for us, huh?
This was written in the same year that I wrote the thing. I wrote my poem.
Yeah.
And this one's called The Token. I'll just give you little excerpts of it.
Sure.
Okay. I walk along 4th Avenue.
Hold on, where on 4th Avenue?
4th Avenue in Spring Lake.
Oh, okay. Because when you say 4th Avenue, most people think you mean New York.
Yeah, no.
If you're going to use an avenue, no one thinks you mean Spring Lake.
It's from my town, Spring Lake, New Jersey.
Okay.
Very nice town.
You should have put that there then. Spring Lake, New Jersey, not New York.
It kind of ruins the feel. It's supposed to be a gritty story.
Yeah, like Spring Lake. It's very gritty. All right, go ahead. Don't let me interrupt.
The rain can be felt on the back of my...
Start from the beginning. I fucked you up. Go ahead.
I walk along 4th Avenue.
In Spring Lake, New Jersey.
Spring Lake. The rain can be felt on the back of my neck like a razor in a barbershop.
Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on.
What?
A razor in the barbershop? Who's shaving your neck, you fucking... You boy beast. Here you are. You're in high school. You need your fucking neck shaved?
I've always had a lot of chest hair and stuff.
And
What,
isn't
on the
that
back of your neck like a fucking gorilla?
Yeah, I shave it. I shave it like once a week. I shave the back of my neck.
But isn't that a good feeling? Getting your neck all shaved?
Yeah, you're right. It is. I love that feeling.
Oh, what's so hard about rain? You act like you were getting cut from the rain and razor.
I think I just like the word razor, and I couldn't finish, I'm going to continue.
All right, start from the beginning, and we'll stop interrupting.
All right. I walk along 4th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
The rain can be felt on the back of my neck like a razor in a barbershop. It is my favorite time of day, nighttime. That is fucking terrible, and I apologize.
And this got printed by you?
I was the editor.
By the way, this thing that he's edited, he's got 3 poems and a short story in there. You know no one else is on his staff.
I took control. What? I had the talent. Why not expose it? It is my favorite time of day, nighttime. The time when I can be seen the least. I am most comfortable when the sun has gone and allows the moon to take its place. This is not a poem, by the way, but I find this language to be quite poetic. I'm on my way to my friend Stan's apartment. He has a bottle of whiskey waiting for me.
This is going... All right, I don't even know this story. I had $10. This fucking ends up in a 69. This ends up in some fag 69. All right, you and Stan are going to drink whiskey. Go ahead.
You want a girl tonight? Oh, wait, hold on. He has a bottle of whiskey waiting for him, but I think I'll need a lot more than that. Okay.
Ew.
You want a girl tonight? Asks a man who has come out of the darkness. He is pale, short, fat, and has dirty stubble on his chin and cheeks. He is wearing a tan trench coat and is struggling to keep up with me as he waits for my answer. That was actually based on a true incident that happened to me in London.
What about Spring Lake?
I'm making Spring Lake. I'm making the town, the universal town of struggles and
But
dreams.
was there a lot of hooers and pimps in Spring Lake?
No, there wasn't. Not a one.
As you're walking for a bottle of whiskey, but it's going to take more than that.
But that happened to me.
Hey, you, clean neck. Want a girl?
Go ahead, clean neck. Don't listen to him.
No, I say, as I maintain my pace.
I'm a homo. Let me know when you have dick.
That's not the next line.
Go ahead, though. I was just trying to guess.
I have to go somewhere.
I have to go somewhere.
Oh, come on, says the man with a sly smile. The room and the girls are right upstairs. You can be in and out in just a few minutes. You get that little, you can be in and out?
Yeah. Huh.
I thought that was
a little
like
the old in and out. It's the fucking actual British phrase.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of witty because it was like a double entendre.
Yeah, but somebody else did it, not you.
Well, Sorry, I say as I continue down the sidewalk. The plump man stops following me as he realizes it is pointless. I don't know why I constantly take the same route to Stan's apartment. It's always like the same. It's always like the same.
You're an editor.
Sleazy pimps, dirty sellers, foul stenches, and sick freaks.
Oh, they get
But
to your whiskey.
none of this is true, right? Your town's not like this.
Oh, no, Spring Lake's a beautiful
It's
little
fucking
town.
Pleasant Valley Sunday.
Yeah.
So why do you got it in your mind that you grew up in Dashiell Hammett's neighborhood?
Well, like I said, that little excerpt happened to me in London, and I'm trying to make maybe...
Well, then why is this on Springfield's beautiful 4th Avenue, not foggy old London town?
Go ahead.
That's a good point, actually. I come up to a local convenience store, which
7-Eleven,
which always understocks in cigarettes and overstocks in diapers.
Sorry, we're out of smokes. Can I get you a pimp? Go ahead.
Most people here don't need diapers for their children. They need things a tad more important, like food. So now I'm taking out world hunger, just so you know, and low economic backgrounds.
Can you still fail? Because this is awful.
I go into the store. A bald elderly man with round spectacles on the top of his nose, wearing a short-sleeved white button-down T-shirt, sees me enter the store. What a run-on sentence that was. He immediately puts down the newspaper that he was reading and jumps off his dark green stool.
Oh, I can see it. Dark green.
His eyeballs grow larger and his body gets shaky. His alertness is the kind that comes with bad experience, says the owner of a convenience store on 4th Avenue. Suddenly I've made him like into fucking taxi driver.
Someone's here! Go ahead.
Can I help you? He states rather than asks. Pack of... Oh, I don't know what... Okay, so I guess he says it like this. Can I help you? He states rather than asks. Pack
No question, no matter what.
Pack of Camels, I say.
Of course.
He takes down a pack from overhead and slides it across the counter to me in one fluid motion. $2.20, he says. I guess these were cigarettes from the 1930s.
Yeah,
$2.20?
I don't know when you were buying them, when you got out of school, but it was a while ago.
I don't think I smoked back then. I pick up the pack and inspect it. I pick up the pack and I inspect it. These are light, I say to him. I wanted regulars. I put the pack down the counter and slide it back to him. He picks it up and it's an original position. He scans the entire cigarette display. I just don't see Camel regular, he says. Just give me a packet of wides, then, I say. He locates a pack of Camel wides. $2.30, he says. $2.30, I ask. It was $2.20 before. But
we're bartering now.
But these are wides, I say. I know that. That's why they're called Camel wides. What's your point? They are $2.30. Camel wides.
Pay the motherfucker. Pay the motherfucker. Is this all the story's about?
Do you ever make it to Stan's?
I didn't realize that went on so long. Camel wides and Camel lights usually cost the same price, I inform him. Why are you charging me extra? I'm not charging you extra, he says. Camel wides are wider. 10 cents more. I do not feel like quarreling the entire night with the man, so I give him $3.
Too late.
He rings it up and hands me the change. Oh, I'd like one of these individual Reese's Pieces Buttercups, too.
You're lying. That's...
I've never seen so much fucking product placement in one short story.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh. I say, pretending to honestly want one. The man scowls at me. He knows exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting vengeance upon him for the extra 10 cents by making him ring up another item where he... Alright, let me start from the beginning right there.
What a weird kid you were.
This really takes you inside the inner workings of a Springfield convenience store.
I'm getting vengeance upon him for the extra 10 cents by making him ring up another item when he could have rung up both the cigarettes and the buttercup at one time. 25, he says through clenched teeth. I give him the quarter and walk out. The rain has gotten lighter and feels like someone is tickling me. It's a nice sensation. It gives me the sense that I am not alone. Here's the part where I stick up for homeless people. Hey, man. I'll do a character better. Hey, man, says a black man in raggedy red pants, dirty white painter's cap, and hole-filled gray t-shirt. He has apparently been cursed of being both homeless and middle-aged. Could I borrow some change? I need it for a dentist appointment, he says, revealing a grand, toothless smile. I grin myself, though not because of the man's little comedy routine. It's probably a sad smile that occupies my face. And then that's it.
That's the end of it?
Well, there's some other little things. You want me to keep going?
Yes.
Okay, because
I gotta figure out what happens here. How long does it go on?
That was just the first...
You don't go back for matches, do you?
That was the first 2 pages, but the third page gets really confusing, and I don't even know... All right.
Pick it up.
I carry on to stands. I glance at the buildings around me. Most are worn down or boarded up. One building sticks out from the
none
other.
of this is true, right? It's a really nice neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I don't even have a friend named Stan, actually.
Oh, I thought it was Eminem.
Its brown color does not accurately represent its original shade. It is smaller than the structures that surround it. It is a building on life support. While it still houses people, it's obvious that it is barely surviving. As I gaze at it, I notice a silver cat in the window in the upper left corner. That's pretty good writing there. The cat is staring directly at me. I look around to see if people are watching, and when I turn back, the cat is still there, looking right at me. An eerie feeling comes over me. I don't understand why, but I start to feel uncomfortable, as if the cat's a ghost. I put my head... That wasn't supposed to be funny.
It's stupid. He's laughing at a retard.
I put my head down and keep walking. Oh my God. I put my head down, keep walking. I notice my feet. One jets out, then the other.
You're fucking bow-legged retard.
All right, you've really captured walking there.
I look and see a small Hispanic girl clinging around my knee.
What?
I'm gonna read the story.
Why would a Hispanic girl grab your knee?
That's what it says. I look and see a small Hispanic girl clinging around my knee. Maria, get off him! Shouts what appears to be the girl's mother. The woman is not large in height or weight, but her hardened facial features are deep enough to scare any child. She is running with a potato peeler in her hand and an apron on that says #1 Mom. Maria! Maria! Exclaims the woman once more. I said get off him! I stand with confusion as to what to do. Should I pry the girl off my leg in a violent manner that might upset her mother, or should I aid the girl's escape and keep walking, providing her transport?
On your leg.
Helping a child run away from home?
While both decisions seem reasonable, I simply decide to stand there and wait for the mother to come along. Help me, mister, whispers the little girl. I look down and see 2 of the most beautiful eyes that I have ever seen. They are gorgeous, sparkling deep brown that pierces right through you. I can't, I say. Your mother, the girls are... I have a lot of periods there. The girls are fixed on me while I struggle for anything to tell her. But all I can do is stutter and stay frozen. Maria, shouts the woman who now has her right hand on the girl's left ear. Let go! The girl's resilience is something to be noticed. Her mother, even with a handful of ear, still cannot break the girl off my leg. Help me, mister, says a similar voice to the girls.
What did she say?
Help me, mister, says a similar voice to the girls, but older. I look at the mother, and it is her lips that the words have been uttered from. She is gazing at me like her daughter. What should I do? Rip her hands off you, screams the mother. I put down my hands. All right, put my hands down by the girl, take her hands into mine, and unhook them from my leg. The mother instantly scoops up the girl who is struggling to get away. Thank you, mister, says the mother to me in a tone of relief. She bends down while still holding the girl to pick up the potato peeler that she was holding before. It must have fallen down during the fiasco, I think to myself. I really think some trivial thoughts in this story. The woman walks up the steps into the building while carrying her daughter, who is staring at me. I look away with guilt.
Why don't you light up one of those wides after everything you've been through?
They cost you $230.
I look away with guilt, feeling that I have betrayed her. The rain has now picked up again. It thumps onto my back, telling me to get off the street.
Like a razor.
I pick up my pace and walk a few more blocks until I get to Stan's apartment. I press the button on the intercom next to the name Zenker.
Dave thought to himself, soon he'd have a mouthful of balls. Perhaps an asshole full of thumb would be coming his way. You're on for Zenkers.
I'm on the intercom at Zenkers. Stan Zenkers, to be... Hello, says the raspy voice from the intercom. It's me, Stan. Let me in. Arthur?
Arthur?
Yes, Stan. Now buzz me in. The rain's killing me. I hear the mechanical noise that tells me the door is unlocked. I pull it open and go in. I walk up 3 flights of stairs until I get to room 316. I knock on the door and Stan opens it with the smell of whiskey already on his breath. Arthur! He shouts merrily. Come in. I enter, take off my wet jacket and place it on a chair. How is it out there, says Stan. I assume he is talking about the weather. Same as usual, I say. The end.
I've never shouted merrily before.
Arthur! Where'd you get the wides? Oh, God, that was awful. Now, you didn't have any teachers to tell you that you were a terrible writer?
No, they all actually encouraged me. That's the strange thing. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I thought some of that was actually well written. The part with the camel wides definitely needs to go.
You're so nutty because you just throw in just colors for no reason.
Here's what you got to understand. What was that story about?
I think I was trying to say, like, race, or homeless people. We should be nicer to them or something.
But you weren't nice to anybody. You just wanted to get on and drink whiskey with fucking Stan. What was his name? Zenker.
Stan Zenker.
You and an Amish man were having whiskey together at the end of the night.
Well, I didn't mean me individually. We as a society need to help out people who are poor. I guess this is what the story was about. You know. Maybe I didn't present it as well as I could have.
It was just terrible. Lou, you're on Ron and Fez.
All right, Dave, I got to call Bravo Sierra on you. There's only 2 races in Spring Lake, New Jersey. Irish and more Irish.
Yeah. Well, I know. I said it was a composite sketch of London, New York,
and Spring Lake.
Why wouldn't you use one of those larger cities that you've been to?
I'm sorry. You could just lied and said you were in Asbury Park.
Right. Why do you have to bring out Pleasant Valley Sunday as your fucking town where all this stuff is taking place?
He didn't mention that Maria's last name was O'Toole.
This was sent to me. If you have 10 monkeys banging out randomly on typewriters, they will eventually type the works of Eastside Dave in less than 3 minutes. So really, random typing monkeys can come up with the same exact story.
No, I disagree with that. This story, believe it or not, took me 6 months to write. I started it in about January, and we graduate in June, and I just got it out on the editor, in the Arrester. I finally got it out in the magazine.
Did the Arrester only come out once a year?
Once a year, Ron. Yeah.
And who drew the picture of the looks like monkey?
That's my good friend Ryan Ebling.
Yeah.
Who is quite a talented artist, and there's other artwork in here. There's drawings, there's photographs, there's paintings even, and sketches.
And I believe that it took that long to write. It took 6 months just for you to buy the damn pack of cigarettes in that story.
That could be shaved down a little bit.
Here's the whole thing could be shaved down, thrown out like your neck. Here's Pat. Pat, you're on Ron and Fez.
Eastside is a schmuck. For his poems, no one gives a fuck. But for certain, to listen to this crap today is better than Roberto, the puppet, who sounds gay. Dave's show appearances are always hard. We hope he dies, that ginger tard.
Thank you very much.
I'm out. Stay gold.
Now, that was
pretty good.
That was a poem.
He used ABAB structure, which is the first line rhymes with the third and the second the fourth. That was quite a good poem, mister.
Do you think he could get in the 2006 Arista?
If he keeps trying. Keep on writing.
Eric, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, this is Eric Logan, and I'd just like to invite him over to XM 163, where Theater of the Mind is alive and well on Sonic Theater.
All right, thanks, Elo. That might be perfect for you. You start to write that kind of stuff.
I'd love to stop by.
Mm-hmm.
You can have me stop by. I can do my poetry.
It sure is windy out here.
Well, I believe in depicting things very, with lots of details and stuff. So the green stool, as opposed to the stool.
As I walk through the Chinese area of Spring Lake, they tried to sell me opium. Ching chung, ching chung, yelled the yellow man.
I see a yellow man in a blue shirt with green pants.
Peter, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, that was really good. You should change your name to Edgar Allan Retard, you fucking loser.
Well, that Edgar Allan Poe, I do. He is actually one of my three main heroes.
Well, who are your three main? Superman, Edgar Allan Poe,
Stephen King, and Shakespeare are my three main writing heroes.
You like horror? Fucking that thing was more horrible than anything I've ever heard before. It was just awful. Now you went on to college. I'm just stunned. I'm literally stunned.
I went to a great school, Monmouth University, one of the top 10 communication programs, and
you have a good degree in communication.
Communication, concentration.
Even though none of us can understand you.
TV and radio, and our basketball team made the tournament this year.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with you, JV. Now, TV and radio, were you just watching and listening, or did you actually have to do something?
No, I had to do stuff, in the classes.
The on switch?
Hey, Singer, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I think that you guys should be a little nicer to Dave. He's just bearing his soul.
Thank you. I am.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Ramon! Spoil this mixed faggot in his own potatoes and cabbage.
I would taste good if you boiled me in potatoes and cabbage.
We'll take a break. We're right back. Ron and Fez. Hi, we're XM satellite radio personalities, Ron and Fez.
And we're going to let you in on a secret, and that's some of the outstanding new channels coming soon to the XM lineup.
Great stuff, like XM's Knock Knock.
Is this a joke, Ron?
No, the Knock Knock channel is all about doors.
Great, I love the Doors.
Not the Doors, it's songs about doors. Here, listen.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
And coming soon, XM Windows.
Hey, Ron, do you like XM's comedy channel?
Are you kidding? I love it. But there's days when I just don't have time to sit through all the setups.
Well, now you don't have to, because from the creators of XM Comedy comes XM's Punchline. Forget the premises. These jokes get right to the point.
So then the other guy says, maybe you should pet him first.
You're a bastard when you're drunk, Superman.
You've just given up on pants. Sounds like that channel really packs a punch. Line, that is. Next, need something to do on a rainy day?
Always.
Then you need XM Radio's Sounds of Classic Board Games. It's hours of entertainment without having to dig through your closet for your own board games. And you'll get all your favorites.
Baltic Avenue. I'll buy it.
It was Colonel Mustard with the knife
in the library.
Yahtzee! I guess XM has a monopoly on fun. Huh? Next, if you like XM's Lucy, you'll love XM's Lucifer. Non-stop music, all paying homage to the Prince of Darkness himself.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Dead inside. Every single one of us, the devil inside.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal.
All hail his satanic majesty on XM's Lucifer.
That's the place for one hell of a good time.
Hell. Well, that's all our time for now. We hope you enjoyed What's Coming Soon to XM.
And remember, at XM Satellite Radio, you can never be too specific. Yeah, Ron and Fez show. It's hard to remember why we found those things funny at the time.
Oh, I find them still funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I was listening close.
Hell.
Didn't even laugh slightly. Earl, you at all?
I like it. I still dig them.
Still funny, though?
Yes.
It's so specific, it's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Want to thank Virginia from Oregon and Tom Jones. They sent us some cool shirts and cards. So I want to send out appreciation to them.
It's beautifully put, too, Fez. I'm sure they're just sobbing with that. Earl's got his head down. Yeah, it was really nicely put. I guess it was felt.
It's always nice to be thought of. Well, I was home this weekend. Earl, I wanted to check with you on this. My parents went to the Good Friday service at their church, and they were kind of reenacting the Passion, and they actually had the congregation there act out the part of the angry mob, and part of the congregation's role in this thing was to yell, crucify him in church. Now, my dad very uncomfortable with that. I couldn't bring myself to yell, crucify him. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we had a play called The Passion also, and part of the participation was having sort of this chorus screaming, crucify him. They pretty much reenacted from...
It's so that you're taking responsibility, Fez.
Oh, okay.
It's our fault. We've taken that responsibility on for what's happened.
It just seemed weird to seem like you're on the other side while you're in the church.
Oh, yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing to be in. Obviously, you're inside of a church yelling crucify. It's completely antithetical to everything that you were brought up with. So, but no, it wasn't. It's a play. It wasn't nothing weird about it.
Seems like they should have people play the part of the mobsters, not just drag everybody into it. And
what mobsters?
The mob that was actually yelling crucify him when Jesus got crucified. In time for May sweeps, ABC is going to be doing a made-for-TV movie called Fatal Contact. It's about what if the bird flu came to America and humans started getting infected. So just bizarre. So something that we're told not to panic about. ABC is going to make a movie about widespread bird flu panic.
Well, I tried to watch that celebrity cooking show last night. You know, if they put the word celebrity or star in a show, it just means that you won't see any stars or celebrities.
You know what? I watched like about half of it and fell asleep before I even saw who won last night's round.
Cindy Margolis, and she won based on tit. Basically, she was smart enough to go real low-cut blouse. But nobody knows who any of those people are.
No, they had one of the guys from O-Town is supposed to be on there this week. It's Tony Gonzalez, I think was probably the biggest name from the Kansas City Chiefs, was on last night.
And it's not exactly a household name either.
No. The host isn't even a celebrity. It's Alan Thicke.
Wrote some of the greatest theme songs of all time, my friend.
Which ones did he write?
Facts of Life
songs. My absolute favorite one.
And something else he wrote. He wrote a couple of
Different Strokes theme?
Different Strokes, yeah. So he was a talk show host, he was an actor, and he wrote, I don't know what you would just call them, themes, I guess.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of different things. Lindsay Lohan, she's supposed to be reportedly turning towards Kabbalah to help shed her party girl image.
Did you see her the other night on Saturday Night Live?
No.
Kabbalah would have been funnier than her hosting Saturday Night Live for the third time. I may be just done with that show and just give up on them all the way.
She's gotten 3 times now already?
3 times, 19.
That's ridiculous. There's no reason to keep bringing Lindsay Lohan back 3 times in what you would have to guess is 3 years.
Viewers. He does not care about comedy anymore. He just wants to spike that young demo.
So I guess Kabbalah actually kind of taking a few strides on Scientology here if they're getting Lindsay Lohan. And I saw, I think, last week that they got the Beckhams.
All right, let's go over this. They got the Beckhams, and that's a definite?
Yeah, Posh Spice wearing the red yarn Kabbalah bracelet.
Madonna is their big one.
Yep.
Who else?
She's leading the way. Britney Spears, also Kabbalah.
Is still in?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let's go to Scientology. You got Tom Cruise. You could argue biggest movie star in the world. John Travolta, one of the biggest. Then we start to fall off. You got Elvis's family. Beck is pretty solid. Who else?
Kirstie Alley.
Leah Remini.
She's in with them?
Yeah, she's a Scientologist.
She doesn't seem it.
Jen Elfman's a Scientologist, too.
All right, so Fez is fairly close there. Madonna against Tom Cruise are the 2 big ones. Who would you say a bigger star is?
I gotta go Tom Cruise.
Over Madonna?
Yeah.
It's a tough call. Tom Cruise, bigger movie star. Madonna's tour that she's starting, though, selling out all across North America and will be the biggest tour ever by a woman. Who's the biggest star to you, Earl?
Cruise, definitely.
Over Madonna?
Yeah, definitely over Madonna.
All right, let me just check with Dave. Dave, you agree there?
Nope. Madonna, if she shows up in Asia, if she shows up in places who have no idea who she is, she'll attract hundreds of thousands of people. I don't think Tom Cruise necessarily will.
All right, let's do this. If we found out 2 sides of Central Park, one, Tom Cruise was hanging out, the other, Madonna's hanging out, who would you go to see, Fez?
I would rather see Madonna.
So that's a bigger star. Earl?
Probably go see Tom Cruise.
Over Madonna?
Over Madonna. I'm not as big a Madonna fan.
Maybe you've never heard the song Holiday, my friend. What has Tom Cruise done that you love so much?
Well, but I like the Mission Impossible movies. I mean, he's a movie star. He's not necessarily a great actor. I loved Rain Man. I loved... Even Days of Thunder was watchable.
Oh, you're not
fairly watchable.
You're insane. The only thing him and Madonna are, they each put out bad movies. People go see Tom Cruise stuff. Hey, Brian, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I just want to say, don't forget Chef. He's a Scientologist, too, I believe.
That Chef is one bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
Just talking about Chef.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Isaac Hayes is with him. That's why he dropped the South Park thing.
Oh, and I forgot Demi Moore on the Kabbalah side.
Demi Moore, Beck, throw them in together. It really comes down to who's your big one. And do you have a second that's as big as John Travolta?
Oh, no. Maybe Beckham worldwide.
I'm not even believing that Beckham is one of them. Not the way John Travolta is a Scientologist. Here's Jake. Jake, you're on Ron and Fez.
Guys, I just saw last night they had a thing about this on Access Hollywood, saying who is bigger right now, who's the most sought-after picture for the baby, either Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise. And they're saying that Brad Pitt's picture is going to go for over $1 or $2 million for their baby picture. And they did a whole thing, the box office, who had more box office, him or Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise was a little higher in the box office, but they said Brad Pitt's got more covers and magazine, because more people are into the Brad and Angelina thing, so they're saying he's right now bigger.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more interest in the Brad Pitt thing because it's a sexier affair. You've left the nice girl. You're with the bad girl. Now you're getting the baby that the nice girl wouldn't get you. That doesn't make you a bigger star, though.
Yeah, I kind of think myself that Tom Cruise, I think, has a little more star power than Brad Pitt.
Let me tell you, even if we don't like Tom Cruise, he's been at the top, let's say top 3 ranked, at least top 5 every year since like 1983. For like 20 years of being right there as a box office star. He is phenomenally consistent with that.
And he's not even losing a step. Where this Mission Impossible 3, that's going to be huge. I
It's gonna
mean,
be gigantic.
Even bigger than, some of his other stuff.
No, did you see him the other night on ABC, though, with the news lady?
Oh, with Diane Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
He looks crazy now. He has wounded eyes, and he's speaking fast and acting like everything's great and everything's terrific, and it just looks like there's a little panic going on underneath it all.
He's a little, in that interview, he's a little too quick to laugh, like when he makes a joke or something.
Right.
I'm going to eat the placenta. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, he's a little bit wired. There's no doubt about it. Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I was just saying if we gather up all these people, get them in Central Park, back to the smell-o-vision this morning, let's just napalm the whole place.
All right, we're not terrorists here. When we don't agree with people's religions or what they're up to, we do not napalm them. That's not us. That's not us at all.
God bless America.
Who's the biggest star right now, would you say?
Right now, it is Tom Cruise. Because he's got the big movie. He's got the gossip with the baby.
I don't know. Do you think he's a bigger star than George Clooney? And I don't go by gossip with the baby as being a star. To me, it's like, can you pick a project, get it done, make a lot of money doing it? Who could pull that off? Is it still Cruise? I know there's not too many people that would turn him down.
Yeah, I think it's still Cruise.
What do you think, Earl?
I would have to go Clooney.
I personally, if I had a project, I'd want Clooney there or Pitt before Cruise.
I mean, Clooney's making careers on top of his own. You know, the guy who played Edward R. David Straherns.
Yeah.
He's a star now. He's getting A-list scripts now.
Bro, he's been around for fucking 30 years getting fucking A-list stuff. I mean, maybe you're just becoming aware to him.
No, maybe about leading man stuff now, as opposed to he was a great supporting actor for a long time.
And he also has starred in plenty of films, too. Maybe not the kind you say. Maybe not in any of the Kid and Play films, but he does star in a lot of films.
No, I'm not doubting that he's a star. I'm just saying that
he was a terrific leading man in 8 Men Out, Mr. B.
Exactly. And that was, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Earl doesn't want to hear that. Here is Dave. Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't care what you say, but, you get some good sweet onions and some pretty good peppers. You got to go kielbasa all the way, bros.
Over Scientology?
Absolutely.
All right, they're not the same as the Fez.
No, that's Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the Jewish mysticism.
Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I think Tom Hanks is bigger than both George Clooney and Tom Cruise.
I'm going to say he's probably right about that. I bet Tom Hanks would be considered a bigger star. He got the hot script this year, the script that every actor's talking about.
And he's been
unlike either one of those guys, he won the back-to-back Oscars.
So
Tom Hanks probably bigger than both of them. Hey, Darren, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I'm noticing a trend. Earl never tends to disagree with you, Ron. Like, you do the whole George Clooney thing. You're like, you sure it's not George Clooney? And they go, Earl, what do you think? Earl goes, I think George Clooney. And it happens every time during
Drives me crazy, Darren.
I notice it. I'm black. I don't hate Earl. I'm not going to call him an N-word. It's just I notice Earl doesn't seem to have an opinion of its own.
Here's the interesting thing, though, Darren. Off air, he debates me constantly. We have these long phone conversations. Go back and forth. He's trying to yell, no, Rubber Soul is the biggest Beatles. It's all we do. But we get on the air. You're not getting the Earl on air that comes off air. Am I right about that, Earl?
I know WNEW, Earl, and this isn't WNEW, Earl. I think he's just taking your opinion so he sounds good on the radio. Because Earl, I know from WNEW, was a stuttering, mumbling fool.
Earl, what do you think?
He's absolutely right.
See, that's the problem. You don't want to go around agreeing with everybody. It's not good for you. You got to be your own man. Go your own way. Scott, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, boys, I think right now the biggest star is Blackie Huge Hands. See ya!
All right, I heard Blackie Huge Hands wants to do the show this week. And what about your little buddy?
Oh, yeah, Jonah Bobo wants to come in and do the show this week. I have to call his mother today after the show and see what day would be good.
Maybe a double booking Kids Day. Or is that too annoying? Ted, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I believe that George Clooney is a bigger star by far. I'm going to say, if you look at Mazes and Monsters by Tom Hanks, that crappy film takes him out of the running because that sucked. You look at Days of Thunder, Earl, and that movie blew too. But from dusk till dawn, George Clooney, baby, he's one bad motherfucker. Ron says his cock.
Here is Seth. Seth, you're on Ron and Fez.
Director Spielberg or Lucas have a lot of play.
Spielberg bigger. Spielberg's the biggest director we've had since Jaws. Biggest by far. Here is Greg. Greg, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I'd go with Tom Hanks or Clooney myself. I think those guys are at the top of the box office these days.
Hanks doesn't make very many bad moves. He really doesn't, and he's absolutely beloved. Now, I'm not a big fan. I got to tell you the truth. I don't hate the guy, but I've never been a big fan.
There was a time where I used to like to go see Tom Hanks movies, where it's like if Hanks was in it, I would go check it out.
Give me the era.
Gump. I went to see that. Castaway. I went to go see it because it was Tom Hanks and I wanted to see what he did. But not so much since. And what was that one?
You're going to go see this new one.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely in for the Da Vinci Code. But there was that one last year where he was dressed up like Colonel Sanders. Had no interest in that whatsoever.
Lady Killers.
Yeah. Travis. But, that was a Coen Brothers film, so he's making the right move. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't doing I'm only going to be in commercial films. He went and stepped out a little bit like a Johnny Depp. Travis, you're on Ron and Fez.
I was going to say Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, again, he's too much of an artist to be caught up in that Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks type thing. He's going to do the weird little projects. He's not constantly worried about box office. Hey, Don, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you got to go with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is the biggest one. He's going to have the biggest movie probably the last 5 years this year. And,
I don't want everyone to hear the funny Ramon bit again. You know why? Because none of you fucking guys wrote it. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies. I think Rusty Knife's the biggest star. He always calls Earl a nigger.
Earl, I'm sorry you had to hear that. I really am.
It's uncalled for, Earl.
Here is Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Good, buddy.
Scorsese's bigger than Spielberg.
Scorsese's never done a big film. He's never done a $100 million film.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Sorry to tell you that, but it's true. He's never done a very large grossing film. Probably the biggest ever was Gangs of New York, and that was a disappointment to people in terms of gross.
Go ahead, Earl. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Like even Raging Bull, which everyone considers like the greatest film of the '80s and the greatest.
Nobody went to see it.
Nobody went to see it. Everyone thought it was too much of a downer of a movie for some reason.
Nobody went to see that film. Most of them haven't made much money at all, and he's never made $100 million. Whereas Spielberg, on the other hand, not only has he made the gigantic films, he's also won a couple Oscars that Scorsese hasn't. So it's not even close there.
Reese Witherspoon, the biggest actress we have now?
Biggest actress we have now is on Broadway, my friend, Julia Roberts. Reese might be like the latest, but Julia Roberts has had that Hanks, Tom Cruise type run that's just been going on for a lot of years, like 15 years.
And she even had a slow point, I think, where like when she played Tinkerbell and Hook and stuff like that, where things weren't exactly working out for her. But that My Best Friend's Wedding, right back where she was.
So you're on both sides of this post, are you? Robert, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, hey, Ron, Fez, what's going on?
Yeah, buddy.
I wanted to nominate Mel Gibson into this conversation. You know, he's got a whole slew of good, movies and hits out that, has been around for quite a while.
Mel Gibson, gigantic movie star, gigantic director now, gigantic producer. This new Mayan film that he's going to do, should be interesting. Got to give him all the credit in the world.
The Mayan thing getting put off for a while because of weather trouble wherever he's filming this at in Central America.
Well, it's been another hilarious one. Fez and I will be back here tomorrow. Oh, and I will be live. We'll be right back on after him. Ron and Fez Show.
XM 202.